I would love to welcome our YouTube audience to the arena once again. You guys are watching OMEN Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by Hyundai and our styling partners Philips OneBlade. Today we have Godlike versus Aster. Important game for both these teams because they are looking to make it into the top 3, make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, for Aster, they can definitely start experimenting around as well. As we all know, it's not that much of a danger zone for them. But on the other hand, Godlike, they haven't really got a lot of wiggle room inside this game. So they need to make sure whichever step they're taking, it has to be towards the victory, or else you're pretty much going to go home. Go big or go home is the name of the game for Godlike. So let's see how it's going to pan out for them so far. But we've got the player walk-ins in front of us, and every single player, I mean, not a lot of expressions on the faces. Speaking about Rexy, though, yesterday we saw a lot of glimmer of brilliance even from this man. He was able to step quite a lot of things up yesterday, and quite a lot of rounds were won on behalf of Rexy.
Yeah, I mean, we usually see him on the SOA, but yesterday, regardless of the character that he was playing, he had a lot of impact because he was consistent with his frags as well as his utility. I mean, some of the timings that he had on his utility placement gave his team such a massive advantage. They would either let Caramel get a couple of kills through the smoke, or they would help Astro fall back from a really precarious spot. So he was not only setting up his duelists for success, but also saving the lives of his teammates. That is massive. And the only real problem that Godlike had yesterday was not playing aggro enough on their defensive side, regardless of the map. If they fix it today, well, then Aster is going to be in a world of trouble.
And I hope that Godlike's mentality is going to be resetted as well, because considering you have lost against True Rippers yesterday, and True Rippers is one of those teams that is merciless, so hopefully they have been managing to pretty much reset their mentality, and now they're going to be moving inside today's day with a complete fresh mental, because that's what's really needed over here. Let's see the map veto soon enough. We're going to move on forward and take a look at that, because everything's going to come down to that as well. The map veto is something that will speak volumes about it. Speaking about Aster in the past, they defeated True Rippers on the map of Ascent 13-3, so that's a big gap. But on the other hand, speaking of a Godlike, I mean, it's tough to say anything, because even on Split 1, I remember clearly Godlike was one of those teams that was looking pretty good on Ascent. So if I am Godlike, though, I would still like to ban that map of Ascent. I do not want to be on a ground where your opponent team is just way better.
But then again, for Godlike, Ascent is one of the only strong maps that they have. So what do they do? Did they not play their strong map just because their opponents are also decent on it? I mean, it's going to be a difficult decision, you know. The map veto will determine quite a lot. And yesterday, because Lotus slipped into the map pool for True Rippers, Godlike were instantly handed a loss on that second map. So now, yeah, now you know how important that veto is. Even if it sticks to some of the more regular maps like Ascent and Haven, it will still be a close game for them. I mean, unless you pull off something really wacky like Lotus again, or maybe even go for Pearl, then it's a different story. But I don't think either of those teams really want to take a risk today.
Yeah. I mean, Ascent is one of those puggish maps, right? It's been in the scene for such a long time. Every single team's just well familiar with that map. So at this point in time, you can expect every single team to bring up those strategies and pretty much be up to date on that map. But ladies and gentlemen, moving it forward and taking a look at the map veto, we're going to have Aster going for the first ban, and it's going to be the ban on Lotus. Godlike, definitely that's going to be a huge sigh of relief for them, considering now Lotus is out the way. I really want to see what Godlike's going to go for, and they're going to go ahead and ban Split. An interesting decision.
Yeah, I really thought that they wouldn't be the ones to ban Split. Since Aster struggled on Split previously, I thought they would probably ban something else and leave Split up in the air, because Aster are probably not going to pick it anyway. But Aster pick up Haven. No surprises over there, and Godlike are still challenging them on Ascent. They want to play to their strengths, even though they know that Aster is a tough opponent on Ascent, so they are well versed with the risks.
Speaking about that, and there we go. Another ban's going to be on Fracture. So, as we know, Ascent is pretty much a strong suit for both these teams. So, it's kind of like a win-win situation for them. But still, I am having huge question marks on the map of Haven. I want to see how this pans out for Godlike. At the end of the day, if both these maps are sort of equally distributed, at the end of the day, we're going to move on forward at the decider map, and that's going to be on the map of Pearl. I haven't really seen both these teams so far on the map of Pearl, because I wasn't really here for the most of Split 2, but I'm expecting a close game on Pearl too.
Yeah, but I'm kind of worried about Pearl for Godlike though. They just lost against True Rippers yesterday. So I really hope that they have fixed all of their mistakes, especially in the second half. They gave way too much respect to True Rippers. They let them take way too much map control. And especially when True Rippers has a composition which involves Gecko, you can't afford to give him that much control. Now that we're starting on Haven though, I think the Asian composition is going to be quite standard.
Yeah.
No surprises from anyone over here. Nothing along the lines of an Astra or a Gecko or even a Harbor for that matter. So, yeah, Haven's gonna be quite standard. But speaking of Haven, both these teams, I mean, they've been quite shaky on it too, haven't they? I mean, Godlike lost against God's Reign on Haven. That was like 6-13, 7-13, something along those lines. And when it comes to Aster Army, they lost against MLT Esports. And MLT Esports were playing in a much lesser form. So if they can't even beat Metal on Haven, then I don't know how they're going to handle Godlike over there. Aster Army did win Haven against True Rippers, but that was also a very close, very labored game of 16-14. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult for both these teams. But let's see who takes it forward.
I mean, right off the bat, you're seeing a huge stack outside C. Godlike just going for the jump spots. On the opposite side, Scully and his teammate Marcel's just waiting for them to dash in. As soon as Caramel does, the recon dart's gonna be able to spot the first man. Caramel seals the deal onto him, but instantly his wings will be clipped. As Godlike, they still do manage to stroll on the site. They've got the site control so far, looking pretty good. Now, I do want to see how Aster Army are going to try to initiate this retake, but if you've got a man like Astro in front of you, he's going to deny any single possibilities of doing so, and Zeta sealed the deal.
Quite a straightforward execute from Godlike.
Yeah.
They had Zay throw in the nanoswarms close to its garage. They used the breach flashes to dive right inside, and the frenzies just do whatever they're supposed to do. I really thought that Aduka would be in danger, you know, because the recon dart only I'm sorry, not Aduka. I thought Caramel would be in danger because the recon dart only revealed the player to his left-hand side, not the one to its default. And by the time he switched around, he had already run out of bullets in his frenzy. Now, luckily, the trades were there from Godlike, and it was so unfortunate to see a guy like that. Like, the moment smoke faded, he was doomed. So, yeah, Aster Army having an unfortunate start, but they're not the kind of team to force spy. They will be sticking to their shorties and classics.
I mean, I like the fact that they're starting off with aggression, right? Considering you're one of those teams that has been on the struggling phases a lot of those times, there's a high chance you're probably going to be second-guessing a lot of your decisions. But in the pistol round, that wasn't the case. They instantly started to book up, and even inside this round, it seems like they're going to pretty much try and go for the C side once again. And yeah, it's going to be a clean stroll. Every single player from the opponent team was on the A site. It was a complete stack, a gamble stack, which didn't work out for them. And I want to see if Aster Army are going to decide to go for the kills or just give up their bodies and pretty much kill themselves in the blast. Because, as I said, even in an eco round, you do not want to give away those ultimate orbs and that extra money to your team, to your opponents.
Yeah, especially not when one of them is just getting all the frags and getting to that ultimate super quickly. I mean, if Kishi or Marzel start popping off over here and get that lockdown or Rolling Thunder online very, very quickly, it will be a disaster. But it seems like Aster Army are not the kind of team to back off from a fight. They will go in. Or at least they are trying to go in. They'll probably get a chance when Godlike stop dumping utility on them. Caramel's on the hunt, trying to go around the other side, but the flash timing is perfect. Somehow Astro is able to cover his retreat, and they get 2 apiece. But they will all die to the spike in the end, and Aster Army, at least they denied 3 ultimate points to Godlike, which is still quite nice.
Yeah, a decent amount of credits too. But still, it's not going to stop the players of Godlike to move on forward and have a couple of upgrades for themselves. You do see 2 Vandals on the board for Astro and Zay. On the other hand, Aster Army, they're going to have now Vandals and Phantoms on the board, so that's the good news for them. A chance to get the lifeline back in the hands. Godlike, they've got 2 rounds back-to-back, which is understandable. But if Aster Army lose out on this round too, this can be a huge crack in the mentality.
C-side's somewhat vacant. There's only one turret that marks the entrance of C, and that won't be useful if Marzel dies over here. He gets 1 frag and somehow escapes. The stun doesn't really catching him over there. And that's also partially because Godlike don't have the powerful weaponry to spam through those doors. So he survives that first encounter, getting his team the man advantage. And now all that Aster Army have to do is just hold on, repel the invaders. One way towards the C double door has faded away. Another smoke towards C long has been put in place. And Godlike, they're just spreading out. And I'm kind of concerned about this spread out because none of them have trading potential now. That's exactly what happens when you give a Duka a 1v1. With nobody to trade you out, he's just going to farm these frags.
Oh man, look at this indecisive nature once again. Kicking in. Godlike doesn't know exactly where to go. A lot of question marks on the faces, but Rexy able to get the trade in the hand. A Duka taken down. Aster Army, they still have got a lot of players on the back. They've got a decent amount of firepower left over. It's a 2-on-4 scenario. And yeah, the timing unfortunately works against the players of Aster Army. Kibo's found himself a little crack in the defense, but even that's been sealed up by Coley. Last man alive in the name of Rexy with only 33 HP to work with. And Rexy will probably try to get the spike plant down before he gets taken out. Doesn't have a lot of HP to back him up, and at this point in time, even the call should be conveyed, and Marzel is going to go for that aggressive peek. He really wants to take the man down. He sniffs the blood. He knows Rexy's quite hurt. But still, a lot of time being bought away by Rexy, and this is definitely good news because he got the spike plant down too.
Hey, he's at least able to kill Marzel on the way out. Shock darts landing directly on his feet, so that's a bonus skill for Rexy. And the plant, along with the death, nets him 3 ultimate points in this round.
The fools gave us a window.
Solid stuff. Taking a look at the replay, I mean, I like the fact that we're having quite a fiery matchup in our hands, but if the initial hit doesn't work out, then Godlike, they're having huge question marks on their faces. The game plan sort of fumbles out.
Hey, but at least with that initial hit, they were able to deal with most of the Killjoy utility. That's exactly why when the timing of the B hit coming in from Kibo was underway, I was kind of hopeful that he will be able to get something. Duka, though, it's quite brave of him to pick up those duels without his dash primed. And now he's kind of trapped on the site. His teammates won't be able to help him out. Doctor's been locked out of the action. Hey, at least with the recon, he's able to get Caramel out, and that is amazing. Even a Duka escapes, so Aster Army give up the side, but at least they have the man advantage going into this retake.
Side control in the hand. Looking pretty comfortable so far. Zay was able to find one, catch the man slip by. Doxer says bye-bye in this round. A Duka, not a lot of HP to back him up, and Rexy will seal the deal. That opportunity is going to be more than enough for Rexy. It's a 3-on-4 scenario. Godlike have the man advantage. They're trying to convert over into a victory, but Aster Army, they're one of those teams that is capable of just flipping the tables at the last moment. But so far, the defense, the post-plant scenario is looking quite tight. And for Aster Army to make any sort of presence known on the side, it's looking next to impossible. This crossfire is going to work out pretty well for Godlike. It's a meat grinder as soon as they step in. They're going to say goodbye to the game, and that's what happens. Godlike, a quick seal on the round.
Don't you feel like Rexy is playing in a lot more aggressive fashion today? He's picking up fights quite often. Usually he doesn't do that, you know. Usually it's somebody like Zay or maybe even Astro who go in alongside their Jet, alongside Caramel. But Rexy is just taking point today. Yeah, he knows he's not going to be the one to plant. So yeah, he's just swinging out on the contact of his teammates. That's quite nice. I like seeing this wild, raw Rexy once again.
Yeah, but it's only a matter of a couple of rounds when the opponents do start to get the read once again, right?
Yeah.
And Godlike, the leader, now start switching things up as quick as possible because Aster Army is not one of those teams that will let this slip by. Rexy still able to find those kills. This man, all by himself, a Sova on a mission and still was able to get one. And that's a really nice one too. Imagine you've managed to take out the controller of the enemy team. They're not going to have any smokes if the site's taken away for the retake.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I meant when Rexy is playing in a lot more aggressive fashion today. He's solo pushing towards the C side while the rest of his team goes A. And you know what? His push out actually convinces Aster Army to keep holding C. And Godlike get the A side for relatively free. Oh, Marzel. Good flank. That's Zay out. TP away across at the last second, and Aduka dashes to his death. Astro with the superior maneuvers. And inside this cloud burst, they will be peppered to death. Aster Army have managed to recover a couple of weapons, but they will be snatched away from them as Godlike secure the round once more.
Yeah. 41's the scoreline, and Godlike They're now starting to run away with a little bit of lead on their hands. They've got the trail. They're starting to follow it. Aster Army not able to bring that crack in the wall just yet. Every single player's on light armor. Aster Army not looking that great when it comes to the economy side. They're quite in a huge discomfort. As you said, for Aster Army, this matchup's not going to be that pressurizing. But if the scoreline continues to be like this, then definitely the pressure is going to start to build up.
And there you can see the pressure right away. Fault line comes through towards a main, but it's not a Duga who's pushing up. It's actually Kishi. Kishi pushing all the way towards A lobby while the rest of his team rotate towards the B side. That is the right play, but Caramel, he's a bit away from his teammates. Now, I know he's just hoping to plant the spike and dash back to safety, but will he be allowed to do so? Seems like yes is the answer. No aftershocks or shock darts to deny the plant, and Godlike are already down towards grass. This will be a massive brawl towards the bottom of mid.
The retreat is so quick. They're playing on the post plant. Even the lurks being snuffed out. Flank's taken out. The flank was something they were relying hugely on. And now even the recon dart's destroyed, but still Caramel, this man's getting scanned up, and Coley was able to seal the deal on that player. The defuse is being stuck too, but it's just a quick dab to force out any sort of peaks. But look at Godlike. Astro's on a man. He's on a mission. Is still alive on the side, and now they know they've pretty much got the round secured, and still manages to take down a Duka. Catches him slip by Aster Army. Things are really starting to fall apart. They don't know how to get it together.
Yeah, Coley gets the consolation frags in the end, but to what end? It doesn't help them secure the round. I was a bit concerned when Caramel was leading into the B site, and he's trying to fight towards C-Link, even though the smoke is placed over there, which kind of made me scared for a second. But then as soon as he got the plant down, I was expecting someone like maybe Doxer to pop. Wait, he didn't have his ult at that time, so I was expecting him to pop the shock darts or maybe an aftershock thrown in by Kishi to deny the plant or something, but none of that came through. And yeah, after Godlike not only get the plant, but also managed to slip away to bottom mid, things are starting to look dicey already, because Rexy has that Hunter's Fury in the bag, so he can always use it to deny the defuse. This round, though, it looks very different. Aster Army have plethora of ultimates, and just one Phantom that Coley saved from the previous round. So while these ultimates can definitely turn the tide, I'm not sure if they'll actually elect to use them in a round where they lack weaponry.
Aster Army is always deciding to play that one side on the retake. They're always having that one side which is completely left unchecked. Hunter's Fury out, able to find one, but that's all he's gonna get from that. At least he was able to get the tag on the other player too. Lockdown's invested. It's not gonna cover the entire site. Unfortunately enough, Caramel's gonna push up a little too deep. This overextension, it's not gonna pan out that well for them. And Aster Army, they've got another opening, which they're looking to capitalize upon, but it's a complete plan on the A site. Astro uses from the shadows. Godlike able to slip away with that plan. Zay's going to be on the man. He's still in the back lines trying to move up as close as possible to the site. Doesn't have a lot of time. On the other hand, Aster Army, they're going to try to make this retake quick.
Buy some time with the lockdown, but does Astro have enough time? They're not in positions to trade each other. The best that they can do right now is peek at the same time from both top heaven and the bottom of A long. Spike hasn't been tapped yet. Lockdown expires, and now Aduka has dealt with the heaven guy. Zay has a massive rolling thunder in his face. Aster Army used all of their ultimates to convert this round, and that's an eco win for them. As soon as Marcel popped his own lockdown, Godlike realized that since this is a very shallow one, maybe if they get towards the back of C side, they will be able to plant. But instead of actually planting on C side, towards the back of it, they head directly into its defender spawn. They were hoping to get some frag wins. They knew that their opponents lack weaponry, but simply challenging so many people at once, even though they have less weapons than you will still die.
Careful.
You can't spray down 1v3 unless they all line up for you. So yeah, Aster Army win an eco. They expend all their ultimates to do so. I think it's a fair trade.
Once again, players just stacking outside A. Godlike, they're really just adamant to just push that one single side all the time. They're using every single piece of firepower utility they've got left up, but this time enough amount of time was being bought by the players of Aster, and that's going to be more than enough to make sure that Godlike is going to start to fall back. Look at Aduka, the amount of map control this man's got, it's insane. The intel too, this man's able to recover. It's incredible.
Box them in.
Aster Army. Yeah, they've got so much information. It's going to be a matter of second when this thing just starts to crumble down. Aster's got no clue. There's a man waiting for him in the back lines, and he knocks him apart.
He even escapes, dashes back to its C long. This means Godlike can't chase him out. And now they can really start to feel themselves get cornered over here. There's only one opening, and that is to head towards the B site. The only person who can pull it off closely is Rexy, while the rest of his teammates are still waiting for a decision to be made towards A long. They're hoping that somebody from Aster Army will overextend, hopefully give them a pick which will allow them to steamroll their execute into the A site.
30 seconds
It was
left.
halted in its tracks even after the Rolling Thunder was put in.
Revealing area.
Godlike could just simply not find a way inside.
Yeah. One thing's sure is that Godlike, they really struggle when it comes to the
Spike
mid-round
down A.
adjustments. And they start cracking under pressure. As I said, if their initial hit doesn't work out, the mid-round
10
adjustments
seconds left.
are just so lacking. And now Rexy's all by himself. And he's probably going to go for a save. Trying to pull off anything at this point in time is going to be way too risky. So Rexy will decide to save this Vandal. And considering Godlike, they don't even have a lot of money left over,
Is never full.
this upcoming round's going to be quite a crucial one.
This is the moment where Godlike realized
Enemy remaining.
they can't do anything over here. No option to retreat. No way to get inside either. That's when they start really feeling the pressure. So if Aster Army can keep up this aggression, keep boxing Godlike in again and again, I think they will have a good time in this half. But this time, Godlike, instead of hitting one side with brute force, they're starting off in a rather slow fashion. They spread out also quite a lot. No presence towards A, but they're already losing their lives towards C. Astro, trying to sell the fake, sold it a bit too well, sold it with his life.
Turret
Yeah.
destroyed.
Well,
Alright, so the KJ util has been broken. The shock dart breaks it towards B. Meanwhile, the turret on Garage has also been destroyed physically by just spamming it down. And now after showcasing presence, if Godlike decide to hit the A side, Aster will be somewhat prepared for this.
Still though, there's only one player present on the A site. And considering the spike's still just lingering outside the B, we haven't seen any quick rotations just yet.
Oh no.
And yeah, the spikes
Spike down
get caught
mid.
as well.
One enemy
Kibo
remaining.
taken out from the game. Not a good news. Once again, the mid-round adjustments really just not panning out in the favor of Godlike. Just that indecisive nature kicking in once again, and Caramel is now going to be the last glimmer of hope alive.
30
Godlike,
seconds left.
everything falling apart. Don't know what to do, what not to do. And Caramel will probably try to go for a save, but he's getting approached by way too many players in the front. Even the save sounds next to impossible. But he's still going to try to go for the fight. Well, yeah, you might as well.
I mean, at this point, I can't even say that the mid-round indecisiveness from Godlike is what's causing their undoing. They lost 2 of their members in the first 30 seconds of the round itself. So that is a big concern, you know. Astro lost his life towards the bottom of C. Then Marzel picks one off towards Gross. And sure, to some extent, Godlike can recover from this, but the timing is just so unfortunate. Kibo's trying to climb back up towards B window, and the moment he's up in the air, he gets taken down. He can't even fight back at that moment, you know. You're somewhat inaccurate when you're trying to jump back up there. And he gets caught with his pants down. Worst of all, he was the spike carrier, so there's no hope of retrieval as well.
And now you can see Aster Army, they're starting to clinch their fists together. Look at all the score difference. It's starting to get nullified and Godlike. Now they're probably going to start to sweat up.
This is one good thing though, by the way. Godlike added this coach to their roster halfway through the split. At one point, only Kamaljeet was the one who was sitting along with the team for the coaching. And we didn't see him in the first 2 matches. I mean, we're not sure if Godlike had this coach, Folklore, with them right from the start of the split. And maybe he just wasn't here physically. Or did he actually join them in the middle of the split? But we didn't see him for the first few matches of Godlike. So maybe the addition of the coach can actually help them. Godlike once again encroaching towards B. Now, Aster Army are quite aware about this one, right? So they pop the nanos instantly. Even the smoke has been put down to prevent any entries. And this will force Godlike to once again go on their defaults, which, by the way, haven't really been super strong.
Yeah.
And there's always a risk of getting picked off by the op. Aduka's already down to its
Scanning
sewers,
ahead.
so if he can catch Zay over there, this will be a nice pick.
Speak of that, and once again, there's a huge presence outside B. Smoke's being utilized too to just play with the enemy mines. So far, nothing's confirmed. Even Godlike, they haven't got any solid amount of information in their hands just yet. It's going to be a quick burst on the B site. Even the Tremors utilized as well. Good shots from Astro. Able to find that opening in the back of the B. And that's going to be the entire B site now taken away. Godlike, it shouldn't be that tough of a hold for them. Considering they've also got the B site taken in the hands, they're instantly going to fall back and try to go for the post plant. Some good stuff done from Godlike. They're not overextending anymore, and I like the discipline.
Yeah, and they also have the man advantage, so this shouldn't be that hard for them.
Revealing it.
As long as they can get one reveal off, a flurry of spams will come through. These B main halls, they're not very thick.
Last player
The
standing.
trades, though, are just simply present all the time. Godlike playing really well in that matter. Doxer's just gonna hightail it.
Ooh.
I wonder if he gets to save the op. He's hitting some really nice shots, but Astro won't let him escape. Quite a good round from Godlike. I mean, the smoke from Astro towards a shot was slightly questionable. It kind of allows Aster Army's shot player to peek out from multiple angles. But then again, I guess he just wanted to throw his opponents off guard. That's
Yeah.
exactly why he placed that smoke in such an awkward manner. And he used the second smoke towards C-Link. Godlike hit the B site and focused fighting towards A-Link instead of actually staying on the site itself. Astro was the last one to retreat from the site while the rest of his players fell back down towards Cross. And once they got this plant down, Godlike, they hold really well. That is one
Yep.
core competence, by the way, of Godlike. Their post-plant situations have improved so much over the course of this split.
He was needed too. This push could have been caught.
Narrow.
But Aster Army, they barely slip away.
Right here.
Gotta thank their gods for that one. Godlike.
Shadows traveling.
Once again, you're not really seeing one of those quick hits anymore. Godlike, they're taking their sweet
Deploying
time now. They're playing this one safe and sound because they've realized Aster Army, they are now able to read into what they're trying to do here. In Aster Army, they're not really buying those strats anymore.
No,
Look
sir,
at
they are
both
not.
these teams. Yeah.
They smoke to hold them back, but Aduka, he's not gonna care about this one. Goalie just hiding inside the cloud burst, and the well-timed recon gets him a free frag onto Kipo. Great utility support from Doxer, and he even trades out Astro, so this is wonderful performance from the Sova. And he's also got the Hunter's Fury, so Godlike can't exactly just stay towards C long, otherwise they will get lasered down. Caramel, though, catches a lovely timing, and that's exactly what they needed. Gishi's already on the flank. He gets stopped in his tracks, but he's at least done the job. This will really make Godlike very uncomfortable. They can only hope to pop his nanos and buy some time, but with the knob available on Aduka, he's very afraid of peeking, and now you know why.
That one shot's gonna seal the deal, and Aster Army, another round just flowing in their hands.
Now flee.
5-6. And probably it's going to be a 6-6 half. It's going to be a close game as expected.
Last round
It
before
was really tough to predict anything on this map, but so far, I mean, on the attacking side, Godlike, this started off with quite a way, but then later on, it started to slip away from their hands. And as I said, one of those key reasons is that they were just not able to understand exactly what Aster Army are trying to do here. At the initial phases, we saw Godlike just straight up bum rushing the site, just barraging that site down. But then later on, they started taking slow and steady approach.
Get out of my way!
Slow and steady wins the race, they say.
Cover going on.
I don't know if Godlike can win this half, though. They have quite a lot of ultimates, and the seaside hit has worked out for them quite well in the past. Especially with this Hunter's Fury, they have a great chance of making it work, but the supportive flashes are perfect from the side of Aster Army. At least Kohli stays alive to get one. But look at this. Doxer is already pushing inside. These guys are heading into the side before the spike's even planted. Aster Army tried to attempt a premature retake, but Marshall can be the one who will turn the tide. His timing window is missed.
player standing.
Oh, and he gets double peeked. Can Aduka make up for it? He's got very few seconds to actually make this one work, and he's considering retreating. But that indecisive nature is what becomes his undoing in the end. Oh, how the tables have flipped.
it doesn't work out. The back pedal at the last moment just didn't work out for him. But at the end of the day, he didn't have a lot of time as well. He needed to commit onto something. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for the first half. As we all know, the map of Haven so far is starting out to be quite a close one. And considering in the first half, things have been looking quite interesting. Now I really want to see how Aster Army are going to perform in their attacking side. And with that being said, speaking of the giveaway too, ladies and gentlemen, all you guys need to do is just scan that QR code and you guys stand a chance to win that Philips One Blade.
Yep, go ahead, scan that QR code, and we'll be back with the game after this short break.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want a game.
The all-new OMEN 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The OMEN 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the second half for the first map of Haven. The first half is quite close, 7-5 is the scoreline so far. And now, speaking of which, Godlike, they have gotten themselves a little bit of lead, but this pistol round's what's going to seal the deal if Godlike do want to keep that lead moving up forward.
If they want to keep this lead moving forward, of course they do. Godlike need to get this pistol. They need to get a map win at the very least. Next few maps in this series will be quite important. That's because both these teams are really good on it. So if difference has to be made, it has to be on Haven. Aster Army shows some presence towards A, but after they put down that smoke, which has just faded away, they don't really extend ahead. And this will make Godlike curious. Look at the preemptive rotations from them. They're already moving so frantically. They tried rotating towards A just a couple seconds ago, and now they're double stacking C and Garage yet again. So yeah, Godlike really just trying to cover all bases. They want to be stacked up at the right side, but they don't want to make any plays to gather that information. And I mean, why should they, right? Because Aster Army is also holding default. I don't think even Aster Army have made up their mind yet. There's an inkling to go towards the A side, but with Marzel showcasing presence towards Garage and tossing his nanos and turrets over there, he's just hoping to keep Godlike players stationed on the wrong side. There's only the one Killjoy on A who can stop them, and Zay also can't do much because he's been smoked off.
This is huge. 4 players on the A side already. They've got the site control, and now Godlike will need to play for the post plates. They haven't really got a lot of utilities in the hand. They will need to try and work on the defaults just for now. As Zay drops down, he's still able to get one, but instantly he gets taken down as well. The trades aren't really working out, and Aster Army, it's going to be a clean sweep for them. First round in the hands off the second half, and that's good news for Aster Army. I like how they're trying to play those little mind games at the start of the round. As you said, they're just trying to lure him into a fake sense of security that there might just be a seed take coming in, but the rest of the players are moving in quite close to the A site.
It's also quite funny to see how Godlike players just jump fearlessly, move fearlessly out of the defender spawn and heaven. I mean, they just went for a Hail Mary push out and hoped that they would be able to get the trades, but Aster Army can't be taken out with just a waterfall of players dumping bodies at them. So Godlike will need something far stronger. Maybe a C-stack could work for them. But then again, it's one of those gambly rounds, which we have seen too much of Godlike. I mean, we've seen this a bit too often. And even Aster Army are wary of this. They just don't want to walk into any of those traps. They have the Vandals and Bulldogs also invested quite early on, so they definitely want to fight at range.
Look at him, still just playing it quite slow. Aster Army, on their attacking side, they're one of those teams that really takes their time. Slow and steady approach, playing on that information, playing it like a well-knit unit. Even recon darts out, and as soon as the recon dart's going to take its place, there's a dash on the site. B side is completely open. A free stroll on the site, a quick spike plant as well. They know the opponent team's on an eco, so it's not going to be that difficult to clean things up. But there's 3 players moving outside garage, and Kishi might just be surprised. 2 players walk out, and they line up for him. One single spray's going to seal the deal as Kibo was still able to shut him down. But he will be traded out as well.
Okay, then Rexy is running across. And somehow that allows Caramel to get a pick because they're all distracted. Does he get another one? Would be really cool. He dives into it. Mirror execution from Kohli, but I appreciate what Caramel tried to do over there. He knows that they're not going to win this round, so might as well take away some guns, which Rexy has done. But hey, the Vandal, the more expensive weapon, is still in the hands of Aster Army, so it's cool, I guess. Although 3 kills in an eco round like this is also quite nice from Godlike.
I mean, you can't deny that that was such a disgusting shot with the classic.
Oh yeah, that too.
He didn't even stop moving. He was just moving, pressed the left click, the shot connected. And yeah, I don't know how that happens. Doesn't really happen with me, but yeah. Good one for Rexy, I guess.
That's exactly why he's playing here and you're not. Sorry, man, I don't want to roast you on the day you come back to this split. I kind of miss you, bro. But if you set me up with sentences like those, I can't help myself. Just like Kibo can't help but pushing out of this area. He wants to set up Caramel once again, but there's a smoke placed out by Astro, so who is he even gonna flash? Now that the smoke's played away, maybe they can continue fighting. But Astro just don't give them the fights at all. They're even using the drone very passively to check out all the closer angles on long as well, in case somebody from Godlike has snuck up. And this is a very weird spread out from Aster Army, right? They often spread out quite a lot with their defaults, but this time they're kind of putting all their eggs in one basket.
Oh!
And yeah, it is the correct basket. They crack Caramel and Kibo open like a bunch of eggs.
Yeah. I don't know what was the game plan over there, but Aduka, he got gifted those kills easily. Both of them just lined up, and this man's not going to miss out on those shots. As Godlike, with a 3-on-5 scenario, things not in their hands at all. This retake's looking next to impossible. Every single player in the opponent team's playing for the post plant. They're not even giving out those unnecessary peaks. So for Godlike to find those sweet spot and those sweet kills, it seems next to impossible. And Aduka once again able to catch another man slip by. This man is just able to get those sneaky kills on the opponents while they expected the least. And Zay from the back lines is now trying to wrap it up, but he's got no opponents approaching him.
That was quite a mowdown from Aster Army. Getting 2 kills like that on A-Long instantly, that is so sick. And Aduka is just killing everybody. I mean, if they don't stop this guy soon enough, he won't just be on the top of the scoreboard for this particular game, but he might just make his place into the top 5 players of the tournament.
And I would want to see that.
Yeah.
Want to see a player like Aduka just coming in out of nowhere, still able to shine so bright. It's definitely going to be a huge surprise for not just us, even the audience and also the players. A tactical timeout over here. Considering Godlike, they've realized now it's a series of rounds just taken away from them, and something needs to be done to put a full stop to that, because now the momentum shifted over in the hands of Aster Army, and if the momentum is going to start to swing in their favor, it's going to be quite a tough one to steal those rounds away.
It is indeed. This might just be a weird observation, but look at the number of pages that Folklore has in his book. He's barely done with a couple of them. Meanwhile, Vandalic is like in the middle of that book, so you know, there's plenty of pages in their strat book. At least for Aster Army, it is.
I mean,
I
he
can
joined
understand.
in the middle.
Yeah, he joined kind of in the middle of the split, so I can understand that he doesn't have too much written down. He hasn't got too much planned. Plus, he does have a massive task on his shoulders, right? I mean, Godlike were already struggling in Split 1 quite a lot. Joined in the middle of Split 2, hoping to get them into the playoffs. It's quite a big responsibility. So he's got his work cut out for him.
Oh, what is this? 3 players pushing out from the mid?
Let's go.
Something that is quite unexpected, but I'm down for it. If this is able to find that kill, then this will mean a lot. And yes, they are. But there's another player from Windows knocking on the doors, and it's going to be in the name of Aduka. This man is always able to get the hands on the players. And now Astro 2 is just trying to go for those sneaky plays, those cheeky kills, and will he succeed? That's a question. Astro, too many angles to worry. He's got a little bit too deep in the enemy territory. As soon as the smoke fades away, his lifeline will as well.
He was just hoping somebody would walk into his smoke. And I mean, if someone did, then it would be quite surprising. The angle he picked up over there, it's quite a weird one. It puts him in a one and done spot. But then again, the one frag is all that Godlike were looking for. They were just hoping to get at least a couple. Right, so even if this guy is able to get one, he would be fine. And he knew that the moment the smoke would fade away, he's gonna be a done guy. So he's well versed with the risks.
Eyes up.
And I like it that Godlike are taking these risky plays in the eco rounds. It helps them understand what the default of Aster Army looks like, which is quite useful, you know? Because up until now, Aster Army have varied quite a lot on their defaults. Like, for example, in this round, they're spreading out quite a lot, right? They show some presence outside of A main. They give it up only after Godlike use their smokes, while they also have people checking B grass and C main. And this is just this round, right? A couple of rounds ago, Aster Army invested heavily into a fast A split, so Godlike really can't figure out what these defaults look like.
Duka not able to just move in through that nano swarm, pulls out a shorty for the close range, but Zay's able to get that glimpse, which is more than enough to shut down the man. But that was a little fake that Aster Army was trying to sell towards the C side, while the rest of the players are going to start to make it work on the 8.
Godlike know this.
Spike is moving up. Yeah, the spike is moving up from the short. Godlike, so far, they've got a little idea of what's going on, what's brewing up inside the cave, but still Marzu's able to win those duels. But Rexy is on a spot that's unexpected, was able to get away with 2 massive frags. Kibo still on the site, able to seal the deal. A 1-on-2 scenario in the favor of Godlike, and Godlike, they desperately need this round.
He's got the ult. But does he know that Zay's already on the backstab? This is a good position to play from. Weird smoke put up by Astro, but hey, it gets the job done. It lets Zay sneak into the site. And now that they've methodically cleared out all these places, there's only one place left to check, and that is short. Godlike have all the info they need. They just need to win the duels. First player already spotted. I hope nobody gets revealed through the recon dot. That would give him a free kill. Zay's already sticking this one. He tries to spam it out, but it's just not happening.
Yeah. Godlike able to win that round. And as I said, that was desperately needed too. Considering the momentum swing, really it seemed like it was starting to shift on over in the hands of Aster. But Godlike, they're not going to let that happen. They want to make this series as close one as possible, because they know it's fight for the pride. And it's fight, or it's go big or go home.
Go big or go home, and that's a good point, you know, because Godlike don't just need to win, they need to win with a big margin, and so far, it is quite close. So yeah, the whole go big part seems a bit unfeasible at this point. Caramel pushed back by the drone. And oh no, he's getting revealed. He might just die to the Hunter's Fury.
Oh yeah, he
no.
He tried to readjust, he tried to reposition, but just unfortunately didn't work out for him. And Godlike, the amount of information now they've got for themselves, it's quite incredible. They've got the entire C-Long secured for themselves. Zay is going to be the man who's there to seal it up. And as I said, they're also playing the B side on the retake. Aster Army, they don't exactly know what to do at this point in time, but the spike is now starting to creep and crawl his way on the A site.
Cover going down.
Creeping and crawling through indeed, but Godlike have already sent Zay on a reconnaissance mission towards C, so this should let him all the information. Although the information doesn't come in time and Rexy's already dead, so is Kibo. If only they played alongside each other, one towards default, one towards short, maybe they could have accomplished something with that semi-crossfire setup. But Aster Army have no problems dealing with this aggression. They have absolutely no resistance on site. And Godlike can just feel this game slip away from their hands.
Ooh. You gotta say how easy Aster Army made that take look.
Yeah, that's true.
They were just easily able to go on the A site, get the A site in the hand, get the plant down. No struggles at all. And Godlike, they really need to make sure that they're gonna make the players of Aster Army struggle, considering they also had the C site on a lockdown. So they knew there's no one approaching on the C site, but they still fall prey to this strat.
Whoa, look at the number of ultimates available on either side. If both the sides decide to invest it right here and now, this will be a very chaotic round. And in the past, Aster Army have not hesitated to use those ultimates while they were on an eco. Are Godlike gonna follow suit and do the same? Or will they conserve it when they have better weaponry? Okay, this is gonna be a fast push out towards mid now, isn't it?
Yeah, something that they did in the past. Oh, Caramel, this is over commitment. You should fall back. You're also getting spammed up. And luckily enough, this man's able to stay alive, but his teammate is gonna die right there. At the cost of his teammate, he was able to stay alive, and look at Rexy. Their trigger discipline comes into play. The frenzy strikes, and he was almost able to get both of them. They lined up. Aduka barely able to stay alive in 45 HP.
And I think he would have died if Rexy had more bullets in the chamber. With only 4 bullets left, he was able to not just get that kill, but also dink Aduka down. This could be the gameplay. This could be the game-changing play. Now Caramel has to make up for what Rexy did, and he finishes off Aduka surely. He was low in HP, but he can't retreat. 1v2. Plenty of weapons available that Kibo can pick up.
Still, he was able to soften him up, though. Kibo, in a 1-on-2 scenario, he's also got the Rolling Thunder available. But he's got Marzil approaching him, and that's going to be more than enough. Marzil to seal and take care of business. As Aster Army with another round on the board, 11-8, and now the momentum swinging in their favor. They've got a decent lead for themselves, which they can rely on. But this play right here, as you mentioned, if there were a couple of bullets more inside the Mac, it would have been done and dusted.
Yeah, that would have been one crazy highlight play for Rexy. Aster Army had one of those rounds where they've won an eco and just completely shut down the momentum of Godlike in the first half. This could have been that round if things went a little more differently. But this can be the chaotic round that we have been looking forward to. All the ultimates available, every side with plenty of weapons. Aduka extending forward in a position where Kishi can't help him out, but he hits the brakes just at the right moment. Doesn't want to give away the advantage. Now Aster Army make plenty of noise. Aduka shows his presence quite aggressively, and then they suddenly cut sound, which makes Godlike think that Aster Army were just faking, and they retreat from the A site. If Aster hit the A site now, they will get it without any problems. There's not even any reconnaissance util available over here. It's just one nanoswarm, which obviously won't give Godlike the info they need.
Oh, lockdown's invested. Even the recon's going to be used over here. The shock darts are sent in to destroy the lockdown, but it will be. So
shock
at least
darts
that's
and the
good news
aftershock
for Aster Army. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is going to be so chaotic. Aduka is burning alive. The Rolling Thunder is thrown inside, and even the Hunter's Fury just to clear out the areas that don't get covered by the lockdown. And Godlike are getting all the kills they need. Marzel plants the lockdown, but this might just invite all of Godlike players to descend upon him. He will have to fight this one out. There's no way to win.
There we go. They get the defuse done too. Godlike. Good way to close things out, and it was just an absolute
I got your back.
mayhem.
You know,
Yeah.
On the side. It was just an absolute chaos. So many ultimates used at the same time. You've got the lockdown. You've also got the Rolling Thunder, the Hunter's Fury. Then you've got the enemy in lockdown. Too many ultimates. A heavy investment done from both the sides. But still, Kishi's got his hands on the Rolling Thunder so far. That can be utilized either for the post plant or to get a site control in the hand. Let's see what's going to be the game plan here.
Yeah. I love how Godlike just decide to go all out over there. Lockdown plus whatever area the lockdown doesn't cover, but you were cleared out by the Hunter's Fury. Of course, it was broken, so it doesn't make an impact. But Aduka this time extends way ahead. We saw this little tendency from him in the previous round as well. At least previously, he stopped just before he went out of the range where his teammates can cover him. But now that he's given away his life, what does that mean? And we've seen him do this in the past. We've seen him try to commit his own body to the fake, hoping to actually sell misinformation to Godlike. But this time, Godlike are not buying any of that.
Yeah, and we're also seeing a switch up in Zay's setup. Alarm bot, 2 Nana Swarms. They're just leaving the entire A site in the hands of Zay. Too many responsibilities for this single man to try and deal with. Nano Swarms are being activated, dude, just to buy off enough amount of time for that spike plant, but that's not going to be the case. It will go down eventually. Kishi able to get the spike plant down. Godlike once again forced in a complete scenario where they need to play it in the post plant. And let's see how it's going to work out for them.
Kibo has all of his util left, but Kishi has one even better. He's got the Rolling Thunder. If he survives long enough to let it loose, this might just be a game changer. But he uses it at the worst time possible. Zay's already behind him. At least Kohli makes up for the trades. He swings out and trades it back. All down to a 2v2 once again. And Kohli's now alone. He can't be helped by Marzel. Marzel gets picked off, actually. And the flurry of smokes just throw him off. But has he done enough?
Does he have the time, though? I don't think so. Yep, he did it. Godlike. All of that for nothing. Not able to get the round in the hand.
Match point.
And Aster Army. 12 rounds on the board. They've got the map point secured for them, ladies and gentlemen. The first map of Haven. And Aster Army might just run away with it. The upcoming map's going to be in the map of Ascent. And so far, Aster Army, they're looking quite phenomenal on that map. But that's a good map, even for the side of Godlike. So it's tough to say anything.
Tough to even feel anything if you're a Godlike fan. Heartbreak and misery surrounds you. It's plaguing you. And with Aster Army winning their first map, Godlike probably don't have a chance of making it to playoffs unless they mount a massive comeback, and then some more in the second map too. Doctor knows that the seaside's clear, so he's using the Hunter's Fury to clear out anyone who's probably hanging out towards the defender spawn, expecting an early frag, but that doesn't happen. Hey, but now Godlike have their backs against the wall. They must go all inside, and Caramel Rexy start things off on the right foot.
Aduka's really starting to overcook now. This man needs to stop himself from peeking those angles, which are not even necessary. He's just try peeking those fights and hoping for the best with his fingers crossed. And it's most of the time not working out, and Godlike, this is going to be quite a clean take for them. Was able to find the diffuser, but there's just way too many enemies in the front lines, and they're going to be able to deal with Doxer. The last man was there, but not anymore.
It is over.
I really guess they wanted to push in towards the defender spawn because they expected somebody from Godlike to come in from the back lines. They probably assumed that they won't be able to hold down to the bottom of C long, and that's why they wanted to just play from the side itself. Hence the aggression towards defender spawn entrance. But it backfires again and again. And yeah, you did point out that Aduka, even though his play to overextend is by design, you can't always hope for the same results. Now Aster Army starting to run out of money. They put in whatever is left in the tank.
Get out of my way.
Half shields, bulldogs. Aduka doesn't even have a gun. He's just playing on his blade storm.
Once again, I guess he's going to go for that aggressive peek, and this time he gets taken care of. Gotten rid of, and once again, a Duke not having any sort of impact inside this round as well. Rexy trying to move up quite close, but there's Marcel just waiting for him. The Span was able to find one. Rexy says bye-bye to this round, but Marcel will be instantly dealt with. There is the trade on the board, but Aster Army they're just able to win these fights somehow, and Kishi lines his opponents up. One more to go. Kishi will be dealt with eventually. Kibo somehow is able to find him. A 1-on-2 scenario. Godlike, they desperately need this. They're going to start to sweat. They realize the fact that how important this round is for them, for their lifeline inside this entire map. And Kibo is trying to keep it alive with all the kills that he's finding so far inside this round. Coley closing his distance, but eventually shuts him down. Aster Army to take the first map home inside the series.
And with this, they pretty much shattered the hopes of Godlike making it to the playoffs. They needed to win in a flawless manner, but this map loss is going to really hinder their chances. And unless Godlike can mount copious amounts of lead in the second map, this is a done and dusted tournament for them. Aster Army survived the first encounter, and they need to keep this lead. Playoff spot looking much stronger for Aster Army as time passes by. That last round was actually quite heroic from Aster Army too. I love how they were just going in towards the B side without going for too many defaults, and they wanted to get this game over quickly.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the elimination for Godlike, it seems quite inevitable. But ladies and gentlemen, for now, we're going to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Feeling under pressure.
it's been quite an shaky affair. Yes, we have seen a lot of improvements compared to Split 1 inside the Split 2, but those improvements weren't enough. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen from the YouTube audience, welcome back as we're going to move on forward to the map of Ascent, and we're going to have the Agent Select in front of us. As expected, I don't think so we're going to see a lot of changes inside the Agent Select, but I want to see how the map's going to be played out.
Let's see if there's any surprises. That's what I'm really looking forward to. So far, nothing from Godlike. Marzel picking up the Cypher once again. No surprises over there. And looks like we have rather standard compositions in Ascent. Nothing out of the box, nothing out of the ordinary to write home about. major difference over here is gonna be the Sentinel presence, right? There's the Killjoy versus Cypher. That's the main difference.
It's quite interesting, right, to see Cypher back in the action.
Yeah, Marzen plays that really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. Taking a look at the stats on the map of Ascent, the numbers, they speak for itself. It's understandable that this man's just doing phenomenal on that Cypher role, and he's able to play that perfectly. Considering Cage is one of those agents that a lot of teams are heavily reliant on, and they're still able to make that swift change, it's quite impressive.
It indeed is. I would love to see a lot from Kibo on this map. He's shown us some brilliant rounds on Ascent before. His backup, his pop flash is unavoidable, man. Absolutely brilliant. And it's a fast one from Aster. Paranoia to clear out the closer areas. No smokes placed yet. There's one towards Markin and Defender spawn now. And nobody from Godlike can actually contest the site. So Aster will get this for rather free.
Yeah. Frenzies are going to move on the site, and
triple
we
flank.
all know how good Frenzies can be. There's already flank initiated, but I'm pretty sure at this point the opponents are going to be well versed in this flank too. They're going to expect this, and yeah, they do get spotted as well. Marzul's camera was their Aster. Look at this crossfire that got set up, but he still gets cleared out. The Frenzy's gonna sting quite deep, and it does exactly do so. Godlike, they're really starting to get the grasp on this site quite quick enough, and it's all down to the Kishi. The last glimmer of hope alive, with only Ghost in the hand, he will be dealt with.
Sheesh, Godlike, run it down. Aster were able to get inside the site quite easily without losing any members, but then Godlike stick together and brute force their way through. That's one way to clear out any crossfires that exist. Who can stand against the mighty triple frenzies just spraying you down? And you see every single person in Aster, if you take a look at this round from their POV, they're almost always getting double, triple peaked.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite brutal the way it got like just run into the site like that.
The flank was known, and they were heavily relying on the player in the logs, but he gets cleared out so easily. The crossfire didn't work out, it wasn't activated in time, and that's something where the entire retake scenario fell apart for them. Caramel gets spotted in mid, the Marshal's known, and you can see the players are now starting to work up. Slowly and steadily. There's a Marshal in the hands of Doxter as well. He's posted up towards the mid. Just waiting for another peek from Caramel, but Caramel's backed up all the way to the spawn. The smoke to deny his vision. Caramel's position's known. Godlike, they're really playing this one on a back pedal.
Yeah, and why shouldn't they? They recognize that Aster is just trying to make noise over here. Look at the smokes put down by them. One is to block Market, but then they try to take Market by themselves. That doesn't make sense. Godlike instantly realized there's something fishy going on. And so far, they've met Aster every step of the way. The rotations are in place. Triple stack towards the A side. It's ready. Aster is even ready to break the recon. He's a little late to the party, but Paranoia will hold him back. And Caramel just pops off! What on earth is this guy up to? This is magic that he's weaving with his fingers. Astro, surely he steals away the ace, but that was a ridiculous hold by Caramel.
Those eco frags. Yeah, I understand it's quite easy to take those with a Marshal, considering it's just one shot to the chest. But it still looked like such a stylish way to get those kills. A hot knife through butter. That's what it looked like. Look at this. Not even struggling. Every single bullet just connected right then and there. And even Aster did not expect to get destroyed like that.
Shutting them down.
Okay then, Godlike doing what they do best. Run it down. And Caramel this time, he is on fire. Coley really couldn't avoid that. And there's so much backup available for him too. There's smokes out of B-Link. Jay spraying them down with the Bulldog. He makes this look easy. And even though Kishi's able to get the opening towards B main, he's just so paranoid about getting backstabbed from Link already.
Marzo, I don't understand how was he not able to get that kill. Considering Zay was still just going for the reset on his Bulldog. And still Marzo wasn't able to get the kill onto him. Keep up in the back lines, waiting for any sort of peaks so far. Kishi's the man with the Vandal in the hand. He can make the skulls just crack open. He's able to find those sweet spots, but Kibo through the smoke's able to find the man fade away. Doxer's lifeline taken. Kishi with a Vandal in the hand. This man is on a mission to save it, but he's got too many players in the front lines. Another peek could have just gotten this fight initiated, but Kishi's playing it safe and sound, but not for long.
Nice round by Godlike. Aggression. Untamed. I love how they set up Caramel. We saw some glimpses of it the last time Godlike played on Ascent. And even in that game, this unparalleled mid-aggression was getting them so much.
One enemy remaining.
And I only wish we saw it in Haven. I mean, we did see some aggression from Godlike on Haven. And it was quite well calculated, but it just didn't pan out in the way that they were hoping it would. And this time, once again, Godlike looking to go on the front foot. Caramel, Rexy ready to rumble.
Ooh.
And Marzal instantly denies them anything. Throws in the cyber cage, tells them, please back off for the time being. The round has just begun. Don't get on our heads already.
Aduka already taken down quite low. 17 HP for this man to work with. Recon Dart's going to be there on the point. Heavy presence. No one inside B main. Aster Army. Are they going to decide to commit to this site? A question that I'm wondering. Still, they've got Doxer just waiting for the lurk or for the flank from the A, but there's no one pushing up the limits anymore. All the 4 players just stacked inside B main. Soon enough, they're gonna just quickly flood on the site. As they do, they're gonna start a lineup, and Kiba was able to find 2. Rexy in the back line's just waiting for them to funnel inside the site, but the kills are not gonna be that easy to take in the hands. As Caramel's still inside the market area. What a shot, Kishi! That's a dirt nap.
Shadows traveling.
Doxer's coming in a bit late. The site is clear, but I'm afraid the spike won't be able to make it into the site itself. Especially when Caramel is firing on all cylinders. Scully makes a mad dash for it. Risky cross, but he makes it. And now somehow, Coley will have to be the bodyguard as Kishi tries to go in for the plant. There's very little time left, and Godlike are already pouncing on them. Kishi, indeed the bodyguard that he requires to be, but now the spike is not planted yet, and time is running out. Oh, this is gonna be a fast one. Coley just about gets it into the ground before he gets buried himself. And Godlike just don't let Aster Army catch a break.
Going for the defuse. And he will be able to do so. Once again, Godlike with a series of rounds in their hands. Aster Army on the attack, not able to get anything done. And definitely this is a good news for Godlike. Once again, this seems like the similar start of the previous map as well. As Godlike, they started off with quite a solid lead, but later on it started to fade away from their hands. And this is where Aster Army, they really like to start it off slow. And then later on, they let the Venom do its work.
Recalling my bot. Out of charges. Turn out. Placing swarm grenade.
I like how Kishi held on to his null command. If he uses it properly this time, he can probably avoid the aggression. Oh, Caramel doesn't get detected by the 0 point, and this could be dangerous. Nobody else is detected either, and the dash, he's not perfect. He somehow... Oh, never mind. He does get killed in the end. I thought he would actually make it out alive, but Aduka doubles up and gets a kill onto Rexy as well. Now, that wasn't expected. Zay looking to make good on the opportunity that was missed before, and he does make it out alive. Godlike are getting away with so many cold-blooded murders.
Yeah. Aster Army not able to just capitalize upon that fact. A good spray transfer. Zay able to get another 2 frags on the board. This man was able to get away with a 3K. He's helped this team out with more than enough amount of kills. And now we're still down to a 2-on-2 scenario. Godlike. This round, it seemed like early off they had a huge advantage, but then later on, we're down to a 2-on-2 scenario. Aster Army, they have a fair share amount of chance to win this one. Godlike, on the other hand, they're sitting comfortable when it comes to the economy side. They've got a decent amount of credit stacked up for themselves. There's a man waiting in the B main. They're quite spread out. Let's see how it works out. Coley, for now, has got a fragment to deal with in the front lines. Kishi just playing it safe and sound, trying to buy as much time as possible. Both the players spotted. Now the man on the B main will start to work up forward too. Kibo was able to shut down the man. A good spray through the walls, able to find those tags with the recon dart. It's just perfect. But now he's not able to find the second player. He's going for the defuse, but the shock dart's going to seal the deal.
Sheesh. Aster Army finally get off a win. And this was so close. We got multi-kills from everybody over here. Yes, Caramel getting taken down by Aduka was somewhat expected since he missed the opportunity. But then Aduka doubles up. And so does Zay. I mean, we've seen so many multi-kills from Zay towards B main at this point. We saw it in the previous round as well with the Bulldog, where he was able to just mow them down. And now the spray transfer from the Vandal. He is just unparalleled when it comes to B main defense. Can't be shaken. Not this guy.
Yeah. And we also, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I feel like we also need to appreciate this man with the amount of calm and composure he showed. Every single piece of utility was used to perfection.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Rexy has been unleashed in the second split. He's playing like a man who doesn't have anything holding him down. His shackles broken. Free to move around, free to help his team in whichever way he needs. And he might just be able to help them out with some early information this time too. Drone used. And he does get one of Marzel's tripwires. So now Aster Army won't be able to see if there's a backstab incoming. Oh my god, that would have been a death sentence. Marzel just survives by the skin of his teeth.
Oh dude, Marzel's gonna be pissed off after that. Went for a jump peek, but I guess got a little too ahead of himself there. And caught a little bullet onto his chest through the wall. That's why he's lucky enough to not die there.
Timing.
But this time it's a double peek, and unfortunately even the timing does not work out for him. Zay was still able to get one, but that trade's not going to be enough. The refrag's there on the board, but the man advantage is still in hands of the opponent. As Aster Army, they start to stroll all the way on the site. They've got the opening, and Kishi is a man unstoppable. He's a man possessed, as Astro is the last man under heaven. Positions not known just yet. He's still left in check there as Marzel spotted and taken down. He bites the dust, and Astro, the last man alive, the final glimmer of hope for Godlike inside this round. 8 bullets in the magazine. Both of these players are trying to play it as patient as possible, but Astro eventually, his patience break apart as he started to make his move, but Kishi with a 4K.
Both of these players with the 4K actually, Kishi and Astro, both of them stepping above and beyond whatever they were supposed to do. Ample of heroics from either side, and they were indeed game changers, man. As soon as the 0 point detected 3 Astro members towards Catwalk, and as soon as Caramel died over there, unscoping at the worst time possible, you had both of these players go into overdrive. Especially Kishi. He was the guy responsible for kicking things off. And Astro, yes, his teammates died just to make his position a little more secure, but he was able to hold on to it in a very stylish, spectacular way. It's a shame he doesn't get to finish it off with the ace. Then again, Kishi also had brilliant moments of his own. Amazing stuff from either side, and this puts Godlike on the eco for such a long time.
Cage triggered. History repeats itself. As always, once again, Aster Army, they're starting to nullify all the lead that was being built, but Caramel, this man, I was able to find shots like those, I was able to get kills like those in his hands. It's just unfair for the enemy team at this point. And as you can see, Aster Army, they've found a little crack in the wall for themselves as they're going to stroll inside the site, able to get the switch control. But look at Marzel. He's in a position that is not expected to be. He was still able to get one, but the instant refrags are there from the side of Godlike. That's helping them still keep themselves in the competition. Shots missed, and Doxer almost loses out on that round, and he will eventually.
This round is so quick. I mean, the build up to it catches pace in a very slow and steady way, you know? You have a little bit of scuffle towards A main. Marzel tries to throw in the cyber cage to just survive over there. Then he gets in deep towards Market over here, which catches a couple of Godlike players off guard. Even the jump up from Caramel was there, right? So you've got players revealing each other on either side of the map. But then as soon as the B hit starts to come through, a flurry of trades is there. And within a matter of seconds, everybody's dead. So this really tells you what the flavor of the game is like, you know? Both these teams hesitating a little bit, at least in the beginning of the round. But when push comes to shove, everybody just dumps bodies at the other. And at the end of the day, the team that has superior trading will be the one that comes out on top.
Look at Vandalik. He's doing such heavy talking. It's
He
crazy.
always does this.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a very animated coach, you know? Quite entertaining to look at, which is also why people like him quite a lot. Not many other coaches display as much emotion as he does.
yeah, passionate.
Passion, yeah. Just seeping through every pore in his skin.
Like that. The more information you're able to convey to your team, the higher they will be able to perform. And so far, Godlike, they're still able to move on forward with that momentum.
Placing
I mean,
alarm
Aster
bot.
Army, they've got those 2
Get out
rounds
of
in the
my way.
hands. But now, considering they're on an eco, it's just going to add on the problems even more. Caramel's got his hands on the op. And he's starting to push up quite deep towards mid too. The amount of information Caramel's able to secure, it's crazy. Every single player's towards the B man, and even now the recon dart's gonna give all the intentions away. Look at a Duka able to sneak in so deep towards market. He hasn't extended towards market just yet. Able to find those connections, but not the kill. Unfortunate stuff for them. Aster Army, they get the site control. All that's gonna matter for them is to get the spike plant down, and if they do so, how are they going to decide to play the post plants? It's going to be quite an interesting one. Cole able to find one with the Hunter's Fury, and look at the players of Aster Army. They're still able to extend forward, gain that information, and fall back to safety.
Cover going now. There's a massive crossfire over here. And Doxer caught with the worst timing possible. Even Gishu tried to help him out. They all will be sprayed down. The flashes are impeccable. And Aster Army are falling like flies. My goodness, Godlike turned this round. I like the Hunter's Fury that Kohli used over there. As soon as the drone was used by Rexy, Kohli uses the Hunter's Fury hoping to kill Rexy, you know, because there's only one spot where the drone will be used from. It doesn't kill Rexy, but it does kill Zay. Still not a problem for Godlike, you know? And just because Aster Army get one kill, they're like, yeah, we have a 4v5, we can hold on. But every single time Godlike find themselves in a retake situation on B, they are just phenomenal at running things down. We saw it in the pistol, we see it again in round number 8. Godlike battled through the Aster Army post-plant setups like it's nothing.
Still, now they've got the equal weaponry. Let's see how it's going to play it out. Marzul's cam spotted. Taken down. I gotta say, Marzul's struggling massively inside this series. We haven't seen a lot of those pop-off moments from Marzul. He's even struggling to win those duels.
And while that is somewhat true, there are occasions where he manages to get into very deep enemy territories, you know? Remember that round where he was already in mid-plaza? Could have almost had a multi-kill with Godlike players trying to retake via market. That was quite cool. And once again, Marzul's on the look.
Here.
He's supposed to be the one that catches people off guard on market, but after breaking the alarm bot, he's just gonna fall back after leaving his own neutral over there.
Oh!
Wow!
Clips his winks. Aduka. Not inside the game anymore. Neuro theft utilized too. Marzul able to get away with a murder. But Astro stacks 3 on top of each other. The entire B main's now looking like a graveyard as Astro, this man single-handedly flipped the tables in his team's favor.
Astronomical impact from this guy, raining down meteors from the sky. This guy rains upon them like a holy ghost. What on earth was that spray down? Jesus! Okay, I understand. Doxer got caught because he had his util out in hand, but the remaining 2? Sheesh! I mean, if both Astro and Zay are able to get multi-kills upon multi-kills like this, all of them towards B main, I think Aster Army have no choice but to just avoid this area like the plague, because this is just some sort of an astronomical buff, you know? Doesn't matter who it is from Godlike. You find yourself facing a single man on B main, he's gonna spray down the lot of you. And this has been shown on several occasions by Godlike players. That is just absolutely nuts.
This struggle wasn't expected from Aster Army. 7-2. And now the first half is looking like a huge one-sided affair. Once again, Marzul making his way from mid. It's got the Phantom in his hands. Team, they've got a lot of things, a lot of hopes and dreams relying on Marzul. His position's known, but the rest of the Aster Army is towards the shore, towards the tree area. Positions compromised. Paranoia is going to be utilized to buy off a little bit more time, but this time they're going to decide to break through on the tree. As Kiba was able to spot one, also get one away, and Caramel on the main was able to get away with one, but that's all they're gonna get. As Aster Army, they get the site control, but they're not able to sustain the site control so far. Marcel, this man is on a mission. He's always on the lurk angles, able to get those kills for his team. And now Coley, the last man alive, with only a stinger in the hand, doesn't have the gun to follow him up. But let's see. I was able to play this scenario. Zay's got the better weaponry. With only a stinger in the hand for Coley, things are even more tougher. And those Vandal is gonna, of course, deal more damage. And all Coley's waiting for is him to strike in a little bit more closer than what he is. Zay knows. Zay knows what he's doing is to try and lure him in the close quarters. But that's not what he's doing. Instead, Coley's also playing this one quite safe.
Repositioning would have been perfect if the turret didn't give away his position. Zay clutches it out once again. From the very depths of defeat, they pulled his round off. But again, given the weaponry that Aster Army had, I would still be quite impressed with the 4 kills that they were able to get. Marzel's look towards mid didn't create all that much impact, but he was definitely able to catch somebody off guard when he snuck into its heaven via that glass. But Astro, like I said, he has been phenomenal towards this hell position. We saw it previously as well, and he was able to mow down 3 over there. And now once again.
Zay's got his hands on the lockdown, and Doxer's got his hands on the from the shadows. That means we might see a last moment switch up on the sites and a plant on the opposite side. We might see that coming soon. Caramels once again is taking deep control towards mid. The recon dart's able to gain a lot of information. Once again, Aduka's positions known too. Similar type of stuff. It's deja vu. What we saw in the previous couple of rounds is happening once again. But this time, the adjustments from Godlike are a little bit different compared to what happened in the previous one. And this time, they're also able to get the lurk.
They're already on towards high mid. Who would have expected somebody this deep inside? Kishi had no idea what he was walking into. And Aster Army are really getting caught off guard. This aggression from Godlike is unparalleled. They didn't aggress out mid this time, but they did go towards a main. And this is not something that they've done before. And even when mid is seemingly uncontested, Caramel is still holding it from the back lines. And they're only aware about Caramel's position. They don't know that Zay is also over here. Yeah, now with the turret they will probably know, but what can Coley even do about it? Wow. He tries to bait the fight out with the turret coming through. But Zay is not gonna back down from it. A flawless round from Godlike. And this is looking like a completely different team.
Yeah, 9-2 half?
Yeah. We were starting to count them out, especially after the previous map loss. But if Godlike can continue this run of dominance in the second half as well, if they can not only win this map, but also win it with such a convincing scoreline like this, they might just be back in the tournament.
Might. Still, there's a huge might. It's all gonna come down to the decider, Crips. And oh, once again, Caramel. This man is able to replicate the same thing over and over again, and Aster Army's not able to find that full stop on that play. How is Caramel able to gain so much space, and the opponents are not able to understand what's going on against him? But at least Aduka was able to find the opening, but an instant refrag is there on the board. Caramel able to get the revenge. Marzel on the mid is able to get another frag on the board. Aster Army, things are now starting to work in their favor as only one more man to go in the name of Zay. And even he's found himself on the site, but Marzel's position's uncompromised, but he gives his position away. He doesn't really have a lot of HP to back him up, so he's going to try to play this one safe and sound. Lockdown initiated too, is just waiting for Marzel to peek out, but Doxer placed that perfectly.
Yeah, there were just too many reveal utilities on Zay. The Cypher as well as the Sova, both of them tagging him up, which makes him susceptible for a wall bang through those narrow walls that B-side has. Oh yeah, it's been a while since we've seen the curse get activated, you know? And for a moment I almost stopped believing in superstition entirely. But this is such a good half from Godlike. This is
Yeah.
not the team that we saw in the previous map at all. They're so much more proactive. They're so incredibly impactful. Every single one getting multi-kills upon multi-kills. That's nuts.
And they're punishing on those small mistakes. They're able to capitalize, not just let them get away like that. So I'm loving the fact that now Godlike, they're really finding themselves that comfort zone that, and they're also willing to step outside of it. So we're just loving it. But ladies and gentlemen, for now, you guys saw the first half is 9-3. We're going to be right back with the second half after this short break.
Came for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you wanna game.
The all-new OMEN 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The OMEN 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly through it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Came for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back into the second half of this series. In the second map, we are over here as the 9-3 first half. Will the curse come true? This is what we're here to find out. Aster Army in the first map, too. In the second half, they really started to feel themselves and started to activate themselves. But right now, they don't really have a lot of room for error.
No, they absolutely do not. It's a very fast one. Outburst as well as a fragment to make sure nobody can push through. And while they have spotted Aduka, Marzel will probably play as bait. And he does really well. Turns around for a 180 as well.
Wow.
Good recovery from Astro and Rexy, but Aduka is still alive, still kicking. And even Doxer's ready to just dive out of the smoke based on Aduka's contact.
Yeah, just a burst of kills on their faces, and now we're left with a 2-on-3. Rexy softened up a bit too low. 20 HP on his hands. Zay is going to be the man to pull anything off over here. Has to be a miraculous play indeed. Which sounds pretty much next to impossible. And Aster Army, even they're making quite a quick rotation on the A side. As soon as Godlike, they're gonna have their hands on the A. They're gonna be meeting with a huge counter push even from their opponents. Aster Army already positioned on the A site, just waiting for the players of Godlike to just funnel inside the side. And as soon as they do, they're gonna meet their makers.
Well, good resistance from Aster Army. I love the rotation speed from these guys. Quick backup onto everybody. Plus Marzel played that to perfection. Really just using Aduka as bait, and that is actually a very nice way to set up a nice little distraction, you know? Everyone's focused on Aduka, they try clearing out the closer angles, and while they do check for Marzel, it's a bit too late. He's already struck down 2 by that time. And then, when Godlike make a Hail Mary play towards the A side, Aster Army move fearlessly in, diving before they can even plant. Just not letting Godlike get even a foot into the site. Oh, that's a heavy amount of presence on A, plus the turret on B. Really gives Aster Army all the info they need, but when Caramel hitting shot like that, it's really difficult to bounce back.
Yeah. At least Caramel's able to fall back though, not overextending, overstepping his boundaries, instead playing with the team As Caramel's now tasted the blood, this man's going to be even more hungrier than before. Aster Army, on the other hand, just sticking to each other, playing it like a well-knit unit. And I love the fact that we're not really seeing overcommitments from any of these teams so far. They're playing it quite disciplined.
I also like how they just exchange weapons. Doctor gave away his Spectre to Crowley, who's the healthier player over there. The one way is really helping Marcel out, and this buys so much time. The rest of Aster Army has also arrived on scene. Godlike can't push out, not like this. They captured the ult orb and they're looking for another instance of timing over here.
The toes giving away everything. And look at Godlike once again. They're making quite a quick adjustment, getting rid of that entire tripwire. But Rexy, how was he able to get away with that frack? It's just incredible. And now Coley inside the logs area is still able to stay alive somehow. He's got way too many players to deal with. Also gets blinded up. And Godlike, you blink it and you miss it. What just happened inside that round? They win an eco round.
Exactly, and Aster Army were actually going in for a force. I mean, you don't usually see that from Aster all that often. They're not the kind of team that will go in for those force buys. But then again, if they win the pistol, it makes sense that they do it, right? Aster Army was supposed to win that on paper. Godlike still winning out.
Yeah, I just think they respected them a little bit too much. Yeah, you lost that initial duel against Caramel, but you should not let that decide the entire round. And that's why they just started respecting the opponents a little bit too much.
Plus, Aster Army had so much info to work with as well. I mean, even with the early loss, they were at least able to trade out Zay. So on paper, Aster Army should have been able to finish this round. But that again is on paper. This time, Aster Army have a risky buy. Aduka goes in for the Hero Vandal. And since he's the only guy with some sort of firepower present, it's important to position him correctly. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. Most of Aster Army is stuck towards the A side, whereas B lies uncontested. Marcel's only got a narrow angle in through the door, and he's also just looking out for players who are dashing in towards the switch to maybe hit it. With the smoke placed, even Marcel won't be able to see anything. So Godlike have a firm grip on this B site.
Speak about that firm grip, and yeah, site control is also taken away. Godlike easily get the site control in the hand. Aduka is the only person that has got an AR in the hand. They're trying to play a Hero Vandal over here. And Aduka has also got the backup of his teammates, Coley and Kishi. Starting to work around together. Aduka needs to find the opening. He needs to find the first cherry over here. If he's able to get the kill, this can be a good opening that they're definitely looking for. Aduka able to get the first man down, sprays it quite well. Pasay with a quick tap on the player is going to make sure he's going to taste the dirt nap. But that's not going to matter. Aster Army, they bite the dust.
And Godlike continue pressing onwards. 11 points. Awfully close to map point now. And these are the kind of dominant scorelines that Godlike need if they want to survive in this tournament. And they still have plenty of money to reinvest into these weapons. Aster Army with a shabby buy. They compromise a little. Aduka buying a Bulldog because of lack of funds, but Goalie still picks up the big gun. Still picks up the Odin.
Yeah. And that's something that I'm always scared of, Odin. Especially on ascent. Deadly combination. Especially on defense, even deadlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, Coley, he's got the stars aligned. Let's see how he's going to hit it with it.
Godlike are also playing it nice and slowly. They don't make too much noise towards the A side. They show some presence, but they didn't give away the fact that all of Godlike members are present over there, and now none of them are. You have a little dry peek attempt from Zay. He knows that they won't have an op, so he's not that afraid of peeking out.
Yeah.
But Aster Army now are in trouble. Marcel has been playing that position a bit too often, and it's about time that Godlike cleared it out again. They won't let the same trick work 3 times in a row.
Oh my god, killed me. This man has found a little crack, and he's going to start to work around with it, and yes, he does. He also finds a good kill. The Odin's now going to start to strike up in the close quarters, but it's not going to matter. The refrag's instantly there too. A 3-on-1 scenario, next to impossible to recover, next to impossible to clutch it out. Doxer, a man with a huge mission on his back and a huge burden. And he's dreaming a little bit too high to even try and go for this entire clutch scenario. But if there's some sort of miraculous plays, then this clutch can definitely come true, but it's still at a huge gamble.
And he's not the one to take risks. The only risk that Aster Army are now taking is letting Godlike get to map point. They will have to mount a comeback of epic proportions if they want to stop this game from slipping out their grasp. Or Aster Army are probably just already preparing for Pearl.
Yeah. You might as well, right?
Might as well, yeah. I mean, we've seen epic comebacks before, but from 12-4 to 12-all, this was, yeah, this wasn't expected. I mean, we knew that Godlike are really strong on Ascent, but strong enough to win with 12-4? Yeah, that is indeed a surprise. And Godlike must play to their strengths now. Keep in mind, they have to win with massive margins. They can't afford to let Aster Army have even a round now. They must finish it off right away. Well, it doesn't happen to be the strong map of either of these teams, so that, I'm assuming, will be quite close. And Godlike need all the buffer that they can get now.
It's quite interesting. We thought both these teams are quite comfortable on this map, but instead, Godlike, they just seem to have an upper edge on this map. I'm pretty sure it's a huge surprise and a shock even for Aster Army.
Yep.
And now they know where exactly they messed up and how to recover in the future lines. But before it's too late, you need to find yourself a recovery right here, right now. As you said, make sure that you're at least stealing away a couple of rounds before you lose this map. That's the only way you're going to keep the cherry on top. But if Godlike's able to win it right here, right now, they will have another chance reignited.
It's not just the cherry on top over here, it's your spot in the playoff. And Aster Army get proactive. Clearing out A main, they can smell this B hit coming in, but there's not enough players over here. The only person who can probably stop this is going to be Goalie. And the lockdown will force him out as well. So this side is essentially cleared. Unless he can get a couple of frags with the recon pinging some players, it's impossible. But they try to dive back in with the smokes, and all of Godlike guns are just trained at them. It's a firing squad. A death machine as soon as Aster Army even take a step out of that smoke and defender spawn entrance. They've got this game in the bag. They almost have it. They just need to deliver the finishing blow, and Catamel's capable of doing it. He's diving in the finishing blow. He's putting the final nail in the coffin. The Hunter's Fury comes through as well as the firing squad. Godlike win map 2.
They go from terror to fear to find that sweet relief, and Godlike, as they win the second map of this series, they're going to push us to the third one, the decider of the Pearl. As you said, we haven't seen both these teams doing that great on the map of Pearl, but still, Godlike, they're on the edge. They're barely on the edge of the cliff, just hanging on still. And they need to make sure that the upcoming map of Pearl, it needs to be a complete one-sided one to have even a chance to move on forward inside the playoffs.
This
Too
game
much to dream for.
Yeah, there is plenty of dreams hanging in the balance. Not just the dreams of these teams, but also the thousands of Godlike fans who are cheering for them right now. Keep in mind that the audience poll goes heavily in the favor of Godlike, so if they lose out this series, it will be a massive heartbreak for a lot of people. Yeah. Can they bring it together in Pearl? Can they win this? Or will Aster Army steal that spot off the playoffs? Find out across this short break.
Can't feel my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Feeling under pressure. Pressure. pressure.
against Godlike. It's a very important game. Godlike must win this map if they want to make it to the playoffs. For Aster Army, though, they just need to make sure that they don't go down to a very devastating scoreline, and then they should be able to weather the storm, survive in the top 3 because they're already there. The stakes are as high as they can get.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, moving up forward towards the map of Pearl as we take a look at the Asian select, and it's going to be a Harbor Viper composition from the side of Aster Army, sticking to the meta, nothing outside the box. The same thing even from the side of Godlike. Let's see how it pans out. Almost a mirror matchup. It is pretty much a mirror matchup over here on the attacking and the defending side. I really want to see which team is starting off on what side. I've completely forgot there, but as you said, Godlike on the attacking side, this team's been looking phenomenal. But at the same time, they've played just yesterday against True Rippers, which is pretty much known to Aster Army. That means Aster Army should be prepared more compared to Godlike.
Oh yeah, I mean, Godlike's wounds are still fresh, you know? They just lost Pearl yesterday against True Rippers, and now Aster Army are facing them once again. And Godlike are starting off on their statistically weaker side, the defensive side, so things are already starting to mount up against them. If Aster Army can get things off on the right foot, start it off in a brilliant fashion, I think they will be mostly sorted for the home run.
Blinded.
Aggression from Godlike towards B ramp. I like it already. I love it already, man. We didn't see any of this yesterday, and now it's just so much better. But they leave Art with a rather standoffish crossfire. The turret will make first contact. The Nanas wants to hold them back. And then Aster will peek alongside the contact of the Killjoy, and they both make it work so beautifully.
One enemy remaining.
Well, Godlike with stellar defense. Fully already feeling the heats, and I love what Aster did in this round. Well orchestrated from Godlike. The aggression towards B lets them know that Aster Army aren't really coming there, even though Rexy placed his smoke over there, the poison cloud. They didn't let him retrieve it. Right there. Which means there's less utility available for them since the Viper util is already committed towards the B site. All they really had to do was just barge in from Art and hope that the superior numbers would help them get a man advantage. Well, that did not happen. And even the players coming in from A-Bane didn't really have a say in the round because the high tide cuts off nobody's action.
Yeah. I mean, quite a fiery round right off the bat. Like to see that. And once again, Caramel. Oh, this man with a Marshall is quite deadly, especially on the buy round, in the anti-eco route. You should not give him these type of frags. He's just getting a little closer to the ultimate, but Goalie will strike him down. Finally puts a full stop to the entire story, the fairy tale that he was able to build up, but a good shot from Rexy to close it off.
And this is just supreme consistency from Caramel. Every time there's an anti-eco, every time Aster Army show up without armor and he has a Marshal, he's able to get a quad kill. He did it before in Ascent on the A Heaven area, and now he does it again on B Long. Caramel and Marshal, this is a love story much better than Twilight. Actually, no, Twilight was quite a trash story, so, I mean, put in your favorite romance story over there, and it's still better than that.
Here.
Which one's
anyway,
yours?
I would rather not say. I'm quite embarrassed by it. Anyway, I'm done with the Hollywood references. Especially when Caramel's hitting shot like that. This is nothing short of an action movie, but Kishi is the villain over here. Decapitates the hero instantly.
And that's a good one. Marzel, even he's been softened up a little bit, but look at Kishi just pushing up boundaries. That push is not going to stop Kishi anytime soon. Instead, it just pushes up against the enemy limits and strikes him down himself. Kibo, not really a lot of HP left over in this man's hands. Zayd's gonna seal the deal. Doxer shut down. Aster Army still looking to move up forward, and Rexy connects that crucial shot. Kishi gives away his Vandal, and not a good news indeed for them. Rexy with the Vandal in the hand is looking to deal some damage. Keep this thing in mind. Godlike, they're on a bonus round.
Ignore that whole round win thing. That's a bug. The round is still very much in progress, and Rexy had a chance to win this until Aster Army get it in the bag.
Dude,
I know. It happens. It happened like a couple of weeks ago. I thought we got rid of the bugs, but Ladies and gentlemen, if a round win thing just randomly pops up in the middle of the round, please just ignore it. We'll sort out the technical glitches.
I was like, wait, there's so much time left and suddenly vanished.
I know. It happens. Took me a while to get used to it too. You should have seen me like some 2 weeks ago. I mean, I was still aware about this bug since I've been on the observer side of things as well, but you should have seen how Fritz reacted to this. It's quite funny to look at it.
Well, now I want to know. But for now, we need to focus on the game here. As Vandals and Phantoms are on the board for both the sides. Doxer just got his hands on the Bulldogs. Rexy as well, playing it quite safe and sound towards the double doors. A good snake bite. Right on the mark. With the perfect timing, too, to stop that entire Trailblazer from making any sort of moves. And also grabbing any sort of information. Doxer all by himself towards the B-long area, just grabbing that info. While the rest of his teams is going to start to cook.
But what are they going to end up cooking? Will it be edible? Yeah, see, it popped up again. Like I said, ignore that. But Aster Army, they are heading directly in via this B-link area. The toxin screen kind of gives Godlike a tiny bit of cover, but the trades aren't perfect. And now Rexy's kind of trapped. He's getting pushed from both the directions, so he really needs a lifeline over here. And nobody can bait him out of that position. Nobody can save him. Oh, the flank. Although it's late, Doxer will intercept it. Trades come through, but now all of Godlike players are just so split apart, they don't have any trading potential. People will have to pick 1v1s over here, and he will be offered this 1v1 by Marzel, but Marzel still wins.
What? There's just no way he lost that duel. That's so embarrassing. But you've still got Zay moving up forward. It's a 1-on-3 scenario. Zay, you might as well would just want to go for a save, but Aduka, he's a man who's quite curious. He peeks out, and he will take you down.
You know, Marzel probably wouldn't have realized that Kibo had already snuck in this deep. Of course, he can hear him, but since his teammate jump spotted somebody out of the B halls, that's when Marzel realized, yeah, he's too close to me. Time to fight.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Indeed, an eco round over here for Godlike now. They've got a Bucky in the hands of Zay, and let's see what he's able to do. 850 credits for that thing. Definitely worth it. Only if you're able to find those close range engagements, then it will be. Aduka, he's also got his hands on the Blade Storm, which he's not going to use just yet. He will only try to pop it if things go south. And Godlike so far, they're just playing for the informational play, just playing for the contact. And as soon as Rexy finds that, he will instantly back off.
Good way to clear out the pillar, but I'm just surprised they're not using any of these cascades. Astro probably didn't invest anything in this one. And even Marzel is saving up all of that. I must say, it is a bit weird to see Marzel play on the harbor, but I'm sure he can do wonders. For now, Aster Army are just really using this goal to get the plant down nicely. But he's playing up close and he can instantly decapitate Caramel. That's the man with the Blade Storm out of the equation, so things get easier. Oh, but this Viper Pit doesn't really make things easy at all. He has to dive inside with the shorty to make that Viper Pit go down, and Aduka, he's able to bring it back.
So chaotic, dude. So chaotic. It's just all over the place, but hey, at the end of the day, things are working out for Aster Army, right? And finally, we're not seeing Godlike just trailblazing through in the first half. We're finally seeing a little bit of closer affair in the first half on the map of Pearl. Definitely something we wanted to see. But for Godlike, it's a nightmare.
Careful around Jet.
3-2. Godlike needs to win this map completely with a one-sided affair. But if this keeps him going the way it's going so far, as I said, it's a huge nightmare for Godlike. Aduka soften up. Armor's taken away. This man doesn't have a lot of HP. Godlike still just playing to their comfort zones. They're playing to their forte. Caramel pushed up way too deep. He's getting so much information. And look at Doxer. The patience might just start paying off, but that shot's missed. It was quite a crucial opportunity, and Caramel whiffs on that.
Hey, but he's still keen on re-peeking that angle. Zay was really good with the crossfires last time over here, but this time they deal with it quite effectively. Aster Army making sure they don't repeat the same mistakes again, but planting with the Reckoning in is going to be difficult. Aster plucks off Aduka from the middle of the air, and even Rexy holds them back with the snake bite. They have no choice. They have to give up on this area and hit somewhere else. But even if they somehow try to make it towards the B side, there is people who can cut it short. Goalie playing dangerous games. This might just be a very bad instance of timing if Rexy looks away. Oh, and he still gets the frag. Rexy was aware, but now there is retaliation from Astro. He's already behind him, flanking the flanker. Both these teams just running circles around each other.
2 to 3. He's got a decent amount of Harbor Util available in his hands, but it's not going to matter. Caramel, the last man up and alive with a lot of hopes and dreams on his back. A huge burden indeed, but he's only got an operator in the hand. Even if he's able to find the first one, if someone is able to overextend from Aster and give away the kill in the hands of Caramel, this can definitely be a date with destiny for him. But that's not going to be the case. The shorty's there for up close and personal combats, but you don't find anyone in those scenarios, and he will also be cat slipping by.
No charges left.
Aster Army with their defaults. And the way they can make Godlike over-rotate, that's so cool. And you could see the domino effect just come into play as soon as Animal missed his first shot on B. And because he's playing so aggressively, and he initiates the fight even after that first shot is missed, they assume that Aster Army are going to be hitting the A site. Why? Because they have no presence towards B. Caramel just heard them fall back. And Aster Army were about to hit the A site, but they make a last-minute pivot via B link. And because Godlike has already started to rotate in towards the A site via defender spawn, B link is empty, the B side itself is empty, and Aster Army are able to plant that spike without any difficulties.
Oh, the wall. Godlike, I'm not a huge fan of Kibo in this position. It's Nodwin too. Oh, that slap on the face of Kishi. It's going to be a huge sign of worry for Aster Armies. They've lost out on the player early off this time. Kibo in the close quarters. The Stinger was trying to sting, but it's a little too late. Sheriff in the clotheslines. Reckoning utilized too much to deal with to try and bob and weave, and Caramel will be dealt with. It's a 2-on-4 scenario. A huge man advantage in the hands of Aster Army as the first kill's found from Marzel. One more to go to get this round win.
Sheesh! Marzel back on the op. I mean,
love it.
It has been a while since I've seen Marzel op. I remember back in the old days, like in 2018, 2019, him, Antidote were some of the best oppers in the country. And now, of course, you've got other names as well. People like Rawfuel have really started to step things up, even Aziz for that matter. But yeah, seeing Marzel on Harbor and on the op, it's not something I expected in this game, so he's really out of his comfort zone now. Well, I don't know, maybe he is comfortable in all of this, he just never showed it to us before, so it does catch us by surprise. Catches Godlike by surprise too, that's the big thing.
He was able to get a 4K. Big knowing.
Watching here.
Caramel holding quite a deep angle. Doxer hopefully does not push up from here. Just post it up right then and there, making sure no one's gonna push up too deep onto B main and get a little bit too much information secured. Look at Astro. He's going to get greeted with too many players in the front, and both the players taken away from Godlike. Not a huge fan of the way they took that fight, but Zay is able to line both of them up. A good spray to shut them both down. Nails in the coffin, and now Coley approaching the death himself, and Zay is a Grim Reaper. He takes another one down with a 3K. Caramel, the operator, is able to rotate all the way on the A site, but Doxer is now going to start to make the rotation towards B, but it's not going to matter. He's not got his hands on the spike.
Toxin screen down.
What's the point of all these flanks when you can't even plant that spike? And Rexy's aware about this one. He knows what Vipers think like. And that's a cool round for Godlike. Good recovery from them. Zay will always have his say. He will always get those multi-kills. He had an abundance of them on Ascent as well, and it's almost like a guarantee that if there's people peeking him with not adequate enough spacing in between them, he will spray them down. The spray transfers on this guy are absolutely nuts. We saw that in Ascent. We see them once again over here. And it's always impressive to look at. But you know what else could be impressive to look at? The abundance of ultimates that Aster Army have right now. Atuka with a nice jump up. Can clear out Art as well as Halls from that. And like always, Aster Army will start things off towards the B side with the Cascade. They will slowly creep down. But they have a default-ish spread out. I mean, up until now, they even had a couple of players A main. They just now start to fall back after the alarm bot is placed over there by Kishi. Positions given away.
Oh my god. That was such a massive jump spot. And look at the sprays. Kibo able to get one, and Zay just able to get two back of that. Right there. Kishi and Doxer. These two players, will they get anything in their hands? They have got Astro so far.
Scout destroyed.
A 2-on-4 scenario in which Godlike, they definitely do have a huge man's advantage, but the scoreline's still in the favor of Aster, as they've got 2 rounds lead. This can't be a huge sigh of relief knowing so.
Maybe that will change now. There's not much that Aster Army can do, not with 30 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds
Unless
left.
Kishi can somehow get into a very deep position and create an opening, which I don't think will be possible since Rexy is just always marking this angle. Which is a very good thing about Godlike, you know? Every time they lose a couple of players towards B-Link, or even if any of the Killjoy utility is broken, they start marking water just to make sure that there's not any backstabs in the way. Oh, Caramel. Not positioned appropriately. He just gets ping-ponged. One guy peeks in from main. Kishi follows up with the frag, and now with the lockdown as well as the Viper Spit, Aster Army have a realistic chance of winning this round.
Yeah, look at the amount of space the lockdown's covering too. That's just incredible. Godlike being pushed all the way deep in the back. It's a 2-on-3, definitely doable, but unfortunately Doxer, he's softened up. He needs to play this one quite sneakily, and look at Kibo. The timing might just work against him, and Kibo spotted out the first. Doxer, 12 HP. He will not be able to hand out to any haircuts.
No haircuts, no molding. Godlike maintained their advantage. It was a 4v2 to begin with, and they only lose one more player in the process.
Aren't going to take one step.
This is on the back of a double investment from Aster Army in terms of ultimates. Those were some massive ultimates, you know. And I really thought that for a second they might be able to convert this round given how much area they covered. But the reverse lockdown coming in from the defender side really just forces the Viper out of her pit and into the open, into the waiting crosshairs of Godlike. Aster Army now. Wait, what's their economy like? I don't think they're struggling too much with their economy, right? They can probably go for some Sheriff buys once more, maybe some Bulldogs in the play. Godlike are the ones who are just climbing their way up. And given the way how both these teams have been exchanging rounds back and forth, I don't think any of them get to snowball their economy. So, economy is still fragile on either side. The 10th round will be the penultimate one. 10th round will determine who wins this entire half, because if there's a team which has an economic meltdown in the 10th round itself, yeah, the last 2 rounds are not going to be smooth for you. That's like one of the worst times to have an meltdown.
And soon enough, we're going to move on forward in that 10th round too. Look at Coley.
Well, they have good weapons. I expected Sheriffs and Bulldogs, so yeah, my math isn't my strongest suit. They do have decent weaponry on either side.
Yeah, I don't think so. A lot of people, especially that play video games, math is their strongest suit, right?
Definitely not me.
Yeah, I mean, me too, man. I like that we're on the same page. That's the first +1 in the synergy. But
sharing vulnerability like that.
Weaknesses, bro. But yeah, for now, I mean, slow approach. There was a high tide utilized right off the bat to gain some sort of ground clearance for them, as they have managed to at least sneak in till the main. A good hawk will give the position away. At least they know that there's some players available there. Seekers out as well to gain the exact amount of information where they exactly are. The Seekers is definitely going to give it away. Look at the amount of utility, the visual denial utility that's being used from the Harbor. No line of sight there for any of the players from the side of Godlike. They will need a sacrifice on that site, and Astro is still checking for that flank. Caramel pops out. This time it's going to say goodbye to the game, goodbye to the round. As Godlike, they are now going to start to desperately fall on this retake. A Cove is being used too to pretty much make sure that the defense is going to be secure, but it's being stuck in Godlike. Out of nowhere, this defense is now just impossible, but God, what was that spray? Gets a 3K out of nowhere. Even he's surprised himself.
Yeah, that expression tells you everything. He didn't even see the last two guys. Oh, we definitely need a replay of that. Hit that rewind button, friends. This is just some nutty stuff. I mean, my whole heart is trembling right now. This was such a roller coaster round. From almost getting the defuse off to losing all your players in one fell swoop. Like, they didn't even properly line up for him.
What?
He just sprayed down randomly, and that tells you all you need to know. He surprises himself with his skill sometimes.
He got headshot onto Zay and Kibo. Bro, what? Okay, that's why you use a Phantom. Right there. That's why a lot of the pros say that Phantom's better than Vandal. Oh, man. The running gun accuracy sometimes can be incredible. And considering you don't even give out tracers through the smokes and through the walls, it's just a +1 in that.
You're over-analyzing the Phantom over here. Goalie is just better.
Alright, buddy. Okay, buddy, what was that? Caramel. Oh man, these shots are just inhuman, that's all I can say. Even Caramel tried to dash away, but he gets caught mid-dash. Good shot from Marcel. And once again, the site's taken away. Aster Army, they're really now starting to humble the players to Godlike. And you've got 3 players left over from Godlike to pull off anything. It's their time to pull off anything from their graves. And if they're able to get this round win, it's going to be a huge sigh of relief for them indeed. The closer the first half, the higher chance of you making it to the playoffs. And Kishi, the crossfire that they've got set up is just unbreakable. And then you've got a man like Marzel feeling himself is hitting every single shot so far.
Yeah, Marzel's on fire. Not just with the rifles, but also with the op. Oh, at least he avoids getting BM'd, but this round is half gone, and with it, the hopes of Godlike as well. Kishi's just gonna run past this. And in the last few rounds, Aster Army have really picked up the pace now, haven't they? A super fast exec into the A site in round 10, and then here they hit the B site with brute force. And it's not like they're just running in via A main and B main as well. They have players coming in from Art if they're executing A. They have players coming in from B Link when they're executing B. And this just cuts off so many rotation avenues for Godlike as well. This forces them to channel themselves in from these narrow choke points, and Aster Army have all their guns and weapons trained at them, making it nearly impossible to flood in with the retake. And Godlike have this tendency to just waterfall in via retakes, right? They go in for these Hail Mary pushes in retake situations. We saw it on Haven as well. And Aster Army are just immune to all of that now. They're done dealing with the waterfalls. Once again, it's a 2-piece split. We've seen this from Aster Army before, and they've been quite successful in the past, but this time, Astro makes a massive difference. He comes in late. Aduka hovering above like an attack helicopter will be shot down by Astro. He's the anti-air defense. He's the anti-everything.
Man, you dialed into some different game after that one. But
that is true.
But you've got Marzel with only 11 HP. What? The wings could have been almost clipped there, Marzel. 11 HP, but he's still got the firepower backing him up. Kibo's ready with the heal too. Caramel's going to be back up on a full HP, but if Marzel is able to strike him both down, this can be an incredible way for Aster Army to close out the first half. And 8-4, definitely Aster Army would be happy to see that coming through. Decent amount of utilities left over in the hands of Marzel. He can use that to try and gain a little bit of visual advantage over the enemy.
30 seconds
but Caramel with his Blade Storm and Godlike still not deciding exactly where they want to go. Now finally they're going to start to reroute their way on the A site. Caramel's the one to lead the charge. Marzel will go for the plant, but he should be denied soon enough. With only 11 HP, this man can't do anything.
Great stuff from Godlike. They played this timing to perfection. They lost 2 rounds to Aster Army back-to-back when Aster Army hit them really fast on the A side and B side respectively. But when Aster Army repeat the same execute on A in round number 12, Godlike are prepared. They let Aster Army creep a little into Art. You see that the Jet has already climbed up towards that tall box over there. They're already breaching into the site itself. And in that moment,
after they have already cleared out the connector area, after they've already cleared out the close left corner, they wouldn't expect someone to peek in late. And that's exactly what Godlike do. That's exactly the timing that they play on. They let Aster Army assume that that particular corner, that link area is cleared out, and when they're focusing on the site itself, someone comes in from behind, swoops away all the kills. So, great adjustment from Godlike. They instantly recognize the patterns.
Exactly, but ladies and gentlemen, scan that QR code and you guys stand a chance to win that Philips One Blade. But what I really wanted to add on over there is that, ladies and gentlemen, keep this thing in mind. Godlike is a solid team on this map when it comes to the attack, and now Godlike, they're going to have their chance, or their fair share chance to attack. So let's see how they're going to be able to perform on their attacking side. Before now, we're going to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to get.
The all-new OMEN 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The OMEN 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20N line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the second half. For the first half ended at 7-5. As I said, Godlike is a solid team when it comes to the attacking side, so let's see what they've got cooking up. But considering Godlike, they have recently played against True Rippers on this map too. And even as Crip said, their wounds are quite fresh. They have revealed their strat book so far on this map, and I'm pretty sure Aster Army should be ready with whatever Godlike is deciding to hit them with. So far, it does seem like it's going to be an 8-take.
It's a very shallow high tide. Just about covers the planting area. Now, the nanostorms have already been popped by Aster Army, so Godlike will have no problem trying to go in for the plant. With the cove and everything else going past them as well, there's no way they can deny the spike plant. So Aster Army have to play this retake flawlessly. There's one person who can make a difference, and that's Duka. He's coming in from the flank via Art, but he needs to be quicker.
Oh, he got the pistol striking in. Kills happening back and forth now. But finally, Astro manages to give his team a little bit of upper hand. Sherrick's not going to strike, but this time Aduka's able to find that kill frenzy once again. Kipo, this man is able to rack so much damage on the enemy teams. 15 HP left over in the hands of Astro. Not a lot of HP to back him up, but the Sheriff will start a strike if he's able to connect shots like that. But Astro with a 4K, this man stepped up single-handedly for his team in that round. Godlike, a way to kick things off in the second half. A site quickly taken, and that's the main forte. That's the way Godlike likes to play. Hit it right off the bat quickly enough, and if you're able to strike down your opponents in your initial strike on that site, then things will work out. But all the time in that mid phase of the game, that's where Godlike really start to struggle. If that initial take doesn't work out, and if Godlike is deciding to reroute towards any of their strat, or if they're really just having huge question marks on their face, they're not able to make quick decisions, and they will need to find, or they will need to try and doing so quickly as possible. 7-6 is the score line, not that far away. Aster Army, for them, this round can definitely be a key one. Aduka is the man with a marshal in the hand. A lot of eyes on him. But I highly doubt anything's going to be done. Every single player from the side of Aster Army was just stacking up to the B site. And once again, Godlike, they're outside A, but they're taking a little bit too much time to execute the site. And that's going to buy enough amount of time for the players of Aster to move in quite close and personal. And they have done so already. Marshall already pushed up deep. Caramel was able to find the man who pushed up a little bit too deep as well. So Godlike, at least for now, they're able to sustain the site control. But Aduka, through the walls, able to find that connection. The spike plant's denied for now. And look at the amount of control Aster Army is able to gain back on the site. This is incredible. It's an eco round for them, but still the amount of damage they're dealing on Godlike. This is unacceptable, and Kishin will close it out. A 4K from this man.
What a way to steal all that momentum away. Godlike had a really good start for them winning the pistol, and I thought this would be the thing that facilitates them to even up the scoreline. But Aster Army yoink it away from them. Daylight robbery over here. Just stealing those rounds right from under the noses of Godlike, and they are definitely not happy about this. Their momentum halted. How do they recover from this one? They will be back in the economic trenches after this. And that too so early on in this half.
Oh my god.
You can feel the stress in their coach.
Yeah, that's why I said, oh my god, it's not a good news when your coach is just having his hands on his foreheads. Not a good sign. On the other hand, you instantly saw that smirk on the face of Vandalik when his team won that eco. He knows how crucial that is to also keep that lead going on and also to break the opponent's mental.
I also like how the coach of Godlike is just furiously switching away on his keyboard, just getting the perspective of each one of his players in. Meanwhile, Vandalik, just keeping it clean, referring to his notes, trying to stabilize as much as possible. Stability is going to be the name of the game over here. Keep in mind that Godlike were able to win so many rounds in a row in that first half. That's exactly what broke the momentum of Aster Army and allowed Godlike to even have a say in it.
Yeah.
And if Godlike start having those economic troubles once again, it will be a repeat of Haven. And you know for a fact they don't like deja vu.
Marzel jump spots, but a little too late. Caramel has already found an angle where he sneaked up quite deep, but now he's finally being spotted. Godlike will now need to try and move quickly enough. If they once again waste a little bit too much time, Aster Army will get a chance to strike him down. And that's something that Godlike will need to deny.
And while Aster Army are positioning for an incoming A hit, Aduka will be the early warning system going towards B. Now, Godlike are aware about how much map control they lost, so they know that Godlike, Aster Army know that Godlike can easily pivot away. And that's why Aduka is going to be of super heavy importance over here. He's the one supposed to take care of this end of the map because they won't be able to stop coming in from B-Link. Marzel's already cut off from the action, but he still makes a brave dash out of the high tide. That was very risky, but he has to win this duel. If he doesn't, there's no hope for Aster Army, and they still keep it alive. Godlike find all the openings, they find all the gaps, but they just simply don't find an opportunity to plant. Oh my god!
What?
What am I watching, dude?
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly what just happened there, but hey, all I know is that Aster Army, they've got the momentum swinging in their favor. And definitely momentum that they were looking for. As I said, Aster Army, they're starting to humble the players of Godlike.
And it's good that they humble them now. Good that they keep their economy humble as well. But there is a silver lining. Given how much map control Godlike were able to find, given how they were able to slip in through the gaps, it poses a massive threat to the defense of Aster Army. If Godlike can find those chinks once again, it will be really difficult to stop them, especially when they have the weapons now. And Godlike are going in for their trusty old B hit. They were very successful with this approach against True Rippers. I wonder if Aster Army can hold on. for now. They're just dodging the Reckoning stuns towards back halls, and Marcel's just trying to keep himself alive while Kishi, he finds the opening. While they're distracted, he's spraying them down, and he's in prime form. Could have had a third, but whoever is vulnerable with the Viper Toxin screen will be sprayed down by Aster Army in the end. They get double digits.
Dude, Aster Army, they're just like a meat grinder waiting for Godlike to step in their territory. And as soon as they do, they don't exactly know what to do.
Exactly. And the funny part is Aster didn't even have the superior weaponry. Godlike were unstoppable with their B main fast hits against True Rippers yesterday. And this is one of the primary things that allowed Godlike to have some semblance of control in the previous map, in the previous game of Pearl. If Aster Army can stop them in their tracks, especially when Godlike's using their best attack, that's a massive red flag, and I don't know if Godlike can recover from this now.
Oh my god. Aduka, that could have looked really ugly. But at least Kishi is there to try and even things out. Astro shut down. Still, it's an eco round for the players of Godlike, and even if it's an eco, this eco cannot just be a soft one. They need to find some sort of hard crack in the wall for Aster Army. So this eco will be a living dream for Godlike if they're able to convert it into a victory, but Marzel is a big hurdle in their way. And he's not going to let that happen. As Godlike, they start to move up, traverse their way in, all the way from the arts. The position's definitely compromised. Marzel in the close quarters is probably going to catch the player in the front with his hands busy, and he exactly does so. Zay was able to strike him down, but instantly you do see kills happening back and forth, and Rexy is now going to be the last man alive.
All the hopes and dreams lying on him. There's plenty of weapons available for taking towards Art, but it's impossible to get there. I mean, if he can go all the way around A main and probably try to recover the spike, but he doesn't know that those angles are clear. That's just a privilege we have, but Rexy does have one privilege, and it is his superior aim. Yeah, they take him down before it's too late, before he starts popping off.
Kishi, you don't have to do him like that. He's doing pretty good inside the series. Deserves respect. But yeah, he's just testing his crouch button. But anyways, this moment right here from Godlike, where they did find themselves an entry inside arts, and Marzel just had that key timing over his opponents where his hands were busy and he was able to get away with one kill. But then instantly you saw trades happening back and forth on the table, but still it just favored the players of Aster Army, and now they've got a huge lead secured in their hands. 5 rounds lead, which they can of course rely on, and considering we were talking about how Godlike desperately needs this game to be one-sided, at this point in time, as we said, it's inevitable, the elimination.
Oh, they're playing really risky games over here. With the commitment of the lockdown and the push out from Kishi towards A main, it's quite obvious that Godlike are really committed to this B play. And they even detained Marzel. He almost burnt to death with the snake bites. But can you kill him? I don't think so. He's gonna recover before the strike comes through from Godlike. And there's a massive elevation for Aduka as well. Marzel spraying them down even though he was low on HP. He's done his job. He's done much more than he was expected to. Now it's up to Rexy. He enfolds the site into his arms, but he will need a lot more than this. This lockdown has been the bane of his existence. Every time Rexy pops the Viper Spit, the lockdown clears it out, and he will be forced to escape. But can he? He makes a mad dash towards B-Link, separated from his teammates, no hope of a trade. And now they're just waiting for this Toxin Screen to fall. Zay hoping to catch the timing, and he does! Once again, the spray transfer is immaculate! Zay will always have his say. You put him in a situation where he's required to switch targets fast, and he will deliver.
Zay and Astro, the deadly combo of imports, once again saved the day for their team. Somehow they were able to pull that round away from Death's grip. As you said, Marzel was able to get those 2 kills right then and there. I thought it's over. But no, Astro and Zay, that deadly combo in the end, works phenomenally well against the players of Aster. But still, you can't deny the amount of lead Aster Army's got. Still the momentum swinging in their favor. And they've also got the early info inside this round.
Rexy doing Rexy things. He's been creeping up towards this B top area with his Poison Cloud quite often. And it doesn't matter if the Trailblazer gets him or not. He's just here to sell a distraction. which he hasn't done so far, by the way, and now Aduka will pluck him off. What does the rest of his team have to say, though?
Ooh.
Godlike already took A main control, they went back from there, and now they're re-hitting A again, but this time with a triple push in from Art. Now there's an alarm bot in the way, so it's not like they will go undetected. But this high tide cuts off the angle that Doxer's holding. He actually might go ahead of the water and try to stop the plant.
Yeah, so much utility used to try and stop them in the track, but even the Reckoning's now going to fade away, opening the pathways for the players of Godlike. It's going to be a clean take for them. They will probably get the spike plant down too, considering they had the Cove deployed. Caramel with his ult. What a quick shots! That tap onto Aduka. This man's going to remember that shot towards his lifetime. And now you've got Marzil in the close quarters. He's still going to manage to take both of them down. Marzil, he stepped up by a mile inside this map. And once again, he's going to help his team secure the round.
He's not Marzil. He's a monster now. Something's woken up inside of him. And it will devour Godlike whole. Map point achieved already. Aster Army getting a foot into the playoff already. Now look to make the full jump through. I must say, though, that was quite a nice shot from Caramel, but Marzil is just able to get him through the cloudburst, and that is unfortunate at best. Backs against the wall, nowhere left to go. Godlike must push through. They must make their final stand here and now, as Aster Army are staring down at them, T-posing over them to maintain superiority. Can Godlike break this curse? Can they mount this comeback and push this game into overtime? Their spot in the tournament hangs in the balance, and as the stakes rise, so will the temper of Astro as he's looking to send this execute inside. A shallow high tide deployed already. We saw this from Godlike once before in the pistol round as well. But this time with the Reckoning invested too, maybe they can find the plant.
Reckoning's definitely able to create a lot of space as the defenders are going to start to fall back. Astro, he's caught too much damage. But the Cove's going to be a savior, at least for now. But still, Kishi is going to manage to find those connections through the wall. Sightline not there. It's not going to be a matter at all. Godlike, at least they've got the spike plant down. It's a 3-on-4 scenario. Man advantage now there in their hands. But Zay's able to connect those shots. And Marzil and Aduka in the close quarter able to shut him down. Keep all by himself in the clotheslines with only a classic in the hand, and Aster Army, they seal the deal and eliminate Godlike outside the split 2 from the league stage. You're not going to see Godlike anymore in the playoffs.
What a heartbreak for all the Godlike fans. They had amazing improvements. Their performance in Split 1 and the performance in Split 2 has massive improvements, and yet it's not enough. Aster Army are overjoyed as they have now confirmed their spot in the playoff. What a stylish win. What a streak of rounds towards the end to finish Godlike off. Everybody in this team stepping up above and beyond. Marzil with a monstrous performance towards the end really tells you what this team is made of.
Yeah.
And this is such a nice game from him. And not just him, even Doxer stepped up really well. While he wasn't in the spotlight, his utility placement was perfect. Same with goalie. He was able to clutch out that ridiculous 1v3 round, which really sent Godlike packing and thwarted their momentum in its tracks. But yet, the respect between these two teams is palpable. While Godlike may not be in the playoff, they can hold their head up high. They had amazing improvements throughout. They stepped up massively. And yes, it is difficult to not see them in the playoffs again, but Aster Army go from strength to strength. Given their current form, they can probably take any other team and dismantle them.
Yeah, they definitely have the power to take down some of the greatest teams inside the tournament. And we can see that happen in the playoffs, hopefully. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the journey for Godlike. It was an absolute pleasure to see them even inside the Split 1 and Split 2. But you're not going to see them inside the playoffs anymore. For now, we're going to push to a short break. There's a lot to talk about.
Came for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. We're known for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. We're known for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it.